Good afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on where you're at, Echoes fans. Today is the first day and the very first race of our Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Randomizer Tournament 2020. I am Semper Fire Dog, and I'm joined by Jagger G. How are you
Hello.
doing?
I'm doing great. I am excited for this tournament to start. This is gonna be, I guess, this is the first round of Swiss, and we have AWP versus Zoro. AWP has been playing Rando for a long time, and I'm not so sure about Zoro. He was unseeded, so his skill is a mystery at this point. But it's randomizer; anything can happen.
That's right, Rando's gonna Rando. And it's always exciting to see, especially with the Echoes, because the Echoes can be particularly trolly when it.
hmm As a runner myself, I'm a little well, not necessarily scared, but I have no idea how these unseeded players are going to perform.
Yeah, it's always nice to find a surprise. You might find
hmm
somebody who's really, really good. I don't know.
Yeah, because all it means is that we just didn't have records for them. We didn't see them on SRL. We haven't caught streams from them.
Yeah, exactly.
We just
And
weren't
I
looking at
do
the
want
time.
to shout out whoever made that background. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And this is going to be an awesome thing to look at for the entire.
hmm
But we'll get things going soon. We're just getting everything spooled up. First race always got glitches to iron out, and we'll figure it out. We'll get it going. I'm just excited to have this tournament going on, though. Ever since I saw the first Echo or the first Prime tournament, I was like, "There's got to be an Echoes one. We got."
hmm I personally prefer Echoes over Prime 1. There's a bit of a split in that regard. Like, a lot of people prefer Prime 1, especially now that they have random elevator destinations as well, elevator shuffle.
Yes, that
But
definitely makes things interesting.
yeah, I personally prefer the open maps of Echoes. You can route much more dynamically.
Yes, I liked Echoes more than Prime ever since I first played it, just because it just has a cooler feel. I think the music's better. I think the boss fights are better. I think there's a lot of parts of the game that are better. The movement tech is, I mean, back then I didn't know about movement tech, but now I know movement tech is a little bit more wonky. And apparently the out of bounds is out of this world. No puns intended.
They are called sequel worlds after all. Yeah, the movement tech. It's the movement tech in Prime One is a bit deeper, but uh, it's a bit easier in Echoes. So that makes out of bounds, which is allowed in this tournament, considerably more beginner friendly. Well, I don't know if out of bounds is beginner friendly, but like novice friendly. A big reason for that is in Prime 1, if you walk off of a ledge, you you're just falling forward and there's nothing you could do about it. Whereas in Prime 2, you can you have control in the air regardless of whether you walk off or jump off, or if you hit R, it doesn't matter. You could always get back into standable spots.
And it looks like we're getting ready to have things going. There we go. Now we get some
Profane
audio.
Phazon Octopede.
That's a it's a very angry octopede.
This is a family channel. Come on, Phazon.
Yeah. Apparently you can't be saying that kind of stuff here. I do enjoy the music of this game very much though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Although
Now
one
the only
complaint I
thing
have is that
Go
the
ahead.
title music is the same as the credits music.
Yeah. Yeah, the only other complaint I really have is the menu is annoying.
Yeah, it's visually interesting, but too interesting to actually use as a menu.
Like you just want to sit there and spin things around over and over again just for fun. It's like I don't even need to play the
Yeah.
game. I'm just gonna spin it.
I get easily sidetracked in games sometimes. In Prime 1, when you first go to the when you first start the game, you're like out in space and there's like meteors, asteroids passing by overhead, and you can shoot those and they break apart. So I would spend like half an hour just shooting them.
I didn't even know you could do that, but I'm gonna have to go try that now.
Yeah. And they would shoot off, like they would split off in random directions, and sometimes they would be close enough that you could like jump into them, but they have no collision. It's funny though.
It's the only thing in the game that doesn't have collision, apparently.
Yeah, pretty much.
So both of our runners appear to be ready, so we'll see them starting within the next few minutes. I don't know if we have any commands or anything ready to go, but we'll see what happens. I don't know if we can find any mini games to play like you can with the big key guessing game in Ganon's Tower of Link to the Past. I know
Yeah, I
that
don't know.
Captain MD13 is one of our viewers and guys who's going to be in this. He wants to keep a
Gonna be
running tally of
commentating
how many required spider guardians there.
There are probably going to be a lot. I'm guessing about half the matches will logically require Spider Guardian at least.
Yeah, that's where most of our guys are saying. Most of the chat's saying is about half or more. And apparently,
Wait,
Bellator,
really?
our tracker, wants to know how many chicas, and I don't want to think about that because chica is off.
There are going to be 2 Chica requirements throughout the tournament. I hope. At maximum.
That's just the one boss that I hate fighting. I hate it. I hate.
So Mr. Miguel bringing up a point that apparently, if you're, I guess if the file is centered in the screen, when you press A, it starts slightly faster.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're off. I didn't know that, but I mean I guess that's kind of useful to know for if you're a speedrunner. Well, we'll get that feedback up as soon as we can, guys.
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
You borked Zoro's feed. Good job. Should be Zoro404.
Right. I like this ship start because well, a lot of people don't like it because you have to go through this section every time you start the game, and there are no items down here there are items down here, but you can't get them in the first pass through. You're just rolling from door to door to get up to Temple Grounds proper. And the reason I like it though is because it does give you a bit of an idea of how good the players are at movement.
Yes,
You'll
yes, it does.
see a difference of a few seconds between players sometimes.
And they have no. There's nothing down here to worry about. It's just go, and that's definitely something to get a nice
Oh,
early relaxing feel. But then it gets real intense.
okay. It looks like we may possibly get a restart here.
Okay,
They
that's
haven't
good.
actually found items, so it's probably just fine to just redo the same seed.
Yeah, if they
I'm
just
assuming.
restart, I don't think that would be a big deal at all. I take it Zoro had a major crash. Yeah, there's no reason why we need to get another seed that we don't know anything. We know that there's a couple splinter workers in the way and a couple dark
Mhm.
troopers, but I presume he had a hardware failure.
Yeah, Bash said his PC froze, so
Well, that's lovely.
yeah. Good timing, huh? 0.71 seconds into the race. Did we learn about the hole in the ceiling yet? So fun fact, back in 2000, like December 2010, it was discovered that you can use a glitch called infinite speed to skip losing your items at the beginning of the game. And then about 4 years later, they found out there's just a hole in the ceiling that you could use instead. And you won't have to sit in morph ball for a full minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody told me that the other day, and I was like, "What? Come on!"
6 years later, jeez.
All right, well, we'll get it back up and running as soon as we can, guys. Sorry for the delay. You know, tech issues are a thing, man. It happens.
Whoops.
Oh, come on, Kirby fan. Don't do that. I mean, that's the best. That's the best boss fight in the game. But the inhaler beam. What is this? Corona?
Vanilla inhaler.
Yeah, I would much prefer a vanilla annihilator over a vanilla echo visor.
I actually inhale a lot when I do 3 BSJs. I don't know why. It's like this automatic reflex. Like I'm just so tense that like, I'm trying to time it so perfectly.
That's true. That's true. I find myself doing the same thing when I'm trying to do some jumps in either one of them, like scan dashes or the life grove escape, without having to do the whole BS. That one's I always get tense for that one for what.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out the developers of this, whoever made the overlay, the background, the tracker. That's just some amazing stuff. This will be a great thing to commentate and watch over the course of the next month, 2 months, however long.
Yeah, I believe the background layout was thanks to Ms. Metroid. And the
Oh,
tracker, I'm not
good
sure. I
old
think
Miss
that was Fizzle.
Metroid. Fiesel and Weasel and somebody. Weasel and JC.
Nice. Although, yeah, they have the Dark Temple keys as a separate item from all of the actual Dark Temple keys. I think that's supposed to be energy transfer module.
Yes, it will be.
We'll get that fixed eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna get that. I mean, we have to have the energy transfer module on there because that's the run validator.
Yeah.
That's the flamethrower of echoes. It's just as you. Captain, I won't talk to the chat about that. I'm not here to promote myself. I'm here to promote the runners. I'm just here to make fun of them along. But it was an 11-minute Quadraxis fight with no energy tanks and no missile. It's a video highlighted on my chat if you guys ever want to go see it.
You know what it should be? Like, it should be just a random item from random games. Like, just have the bug net in that last spot.
Diglerath, I don't think there can be because I think the maximum starting items you can have is 0, right? Right. Oh, it could be more than 5 ETMs. You could have 30 if you had the settings right. But that's not something we want to see. That's bad content, as certain people.
Well,
would say.
maybe you don't want to see.
I don't want to see 30 ETMs. I don't even pick up the one that's there.
I personally, as a fusion runner, I like to play with 32 powerbomb expansions.
Holy cow!
Because there are 32 powerbomb expansions in Metroid Fusion. So
that's a lot of power bombs.
Unfortunately, currently the randomizer only allows a maximum capacity of 10. So the way it handles that is it makes, I get 1 power bomb off of main power bombs, and then 9 of the power bomb expansions give me 1 power bomb each, and 23 of them give me nothing. But they do add to the percentage.
That's always nice. That's like the new Metroid Prime 1 Rando. It has the starting items, and when you pick up something that you pick up nothing acquired, it's like, oh, come on. It's so disappointing to go through like Life Grove and get to the back, and you're like, all right, I mean item for progression, and it's like nothing. You're like, come on, man, that's not fair.
So there are 119 item locations in the game, I believe, and
yes, I think so.
The tournament settings have a total of 119 items to pick up. In the vanilla game, it's only 118 plus the energy transfer module. So the thing about the energy transfer module is it doesn't have a function. It doesn't count towards your collection percentage. It doesn't go into your inventory. There's no like scan data for it or anything. So it is literally nothing.
It's quite literally there just for storyline value.
Mm-hmm. So currently Zoro, I assume, is in a sword fight with this PC.
Either that or he's getting ready to drop kick it out a window.
I was doing a practice race the other day, and like I blew a fuse and like my power went out, so
Oh,
I
you
was trying to
you
reboot the
actually
PC
blew a
and took
fuse. You
ages.
didn't get angry.
No, I was pretty chill. I was racing against Mr. Miguel, and as it so happens, in that particular race, he also soft locked. So
Well, I mean, hey, yours was more of a hard lock, though.
yeah, I had to go outside and switch the fuse back on and go to the circuit breaker. And it took a really long time to boot up the PC. I swear, the more modern, like the more advanced computers get, it's just the longer they take to load.
Especially if the computers were not shut down properly. Yes, I agree. It
Yeah.
definitely takes long.
And I had to boot up Discord, which takes even longer. Had to boot
I
up
mean,
OBS, which takes even longer.
technically, in a human sense, when a person has a
Yeah.
seizure, like your computer did, it takes the first time. It takes forever for them to come back out of it. So, I mean, it's kind of the same deal.
Okay. Fair enough. So it looks like he's good to go now.
All right, I think we're ready this time. Maybe we'll get faster, get beyond 0.71 seconds. I really want to see what this profane phase on Octopede has to do for us. Ready and
Nice.
go. Ready and go. Ready and go.
Gotta wait for the countdown. And then wait for stream delay.
Sorry, it's just building the excitement even more. Hype,
This is,
hype trains, hype, hype, hype.
yeah, this is a very accurate introduction of how the Echoes tournament is gonna go.
Yeah, because Echoes is just a major cluster, for sure.
There are a few random, kind of rare crashes, but they might happen in the tournament, unfortunately. I personally just hold my breath
All
when I go
right.
into certain rooms.
And we're off again. Let's
There we
do
go.
this.
So right off the bat, there's a speed trick where you skip the cutscene, and you could only skip the cutscene if you're pressing start when the screen is totally black.
And
And
most of the time, you'll probably pause because it's not
mhm.
you're too slow or too fast.
It'll be black for a couple of seconds, then you can stop pressing pause, but it's hard to know. If you stop pressing too early, you might get another text box, and if you get another text box, you have to wait for that text to disappear too.
Now, as you can see, they spend most of their time in Morph Ball because it is far faster to travel as a Morph Ball than it is to travel on the ground walking.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It also does kind of depend.
on the
Like,
terrain, for
yeah,
sure.
that room was pretty bumpy, so like I think it's still faster, but not as faster as this room here.
The fun part is going to be learning how to do or remembering all the room names that have items, because some of them are a little bit.
Yeah, playing with hints on helps a lot with that. You play like 20 seeds, you'll start to get used to the room names.
Yes, indeed.
I learned a lot of the room names by not being able to do tricks in them. So that's another way you can learn room names. So what Zoro's doing here is he did a slope jump to get onto the crate and then jump onto this this other crate here, and he's letting the cutscene play a little bit, and it carries him all the way over to the door, so he won't have to lower the bridge on this trip at least.
Well, how nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's clever. There's also a slope jump in this room as well called the TAS, which I can't see that item there, so I have no idea what it is, but he's going for it, so.
Ooh, spicy. This is one of the hardest slope jumps in the game, I'd say.
I'd say it's harder. It's harder to stay on once you get up there. There you go.
Nice. Third try is not bad at all.
That was very well done. I can't see because of the resolution of the commentary, but it's the dark beam. It's a great.
Yeah, it's very good.
You always want to have the dark beam ready to go, nice and early. Op saw it, but decided to go past it, so he's already beyond that into the communications area, which is just another one of those rooms that you just want to get through as fast as possible because there's nothing here.
Yeah, he'll probably be fine. He might have to come back for that dark beam after visiting Aegon. We'll see. It depends whether he gets more fall bombs or space jump.
Right. Which I'm thinking they probably will be space jump or morph ball in this area here because you need dark beam early to be able to have any kind of access to anything.
Yeah, although they could be in Aegon, so
yes, it could be.
Require backtrack. Well. So now we get to find out what's in here. Looks like today it's Seekers.
Seekers, that's a good start.
Yeah, it's gonna be Seekers about 80% of the time on these settings, because generally we have it set to no longer allow missile launcher to launch missiles. We can get anything to launch missiles with, and Seekers open up more things than missile launcher, so it tends to be Seekers in the first item.
It's always a nice thing to have early because you don't want to be searching for that thing, because later on it's kind of a pain in the butt. Now Zoro did a duplication of the item, so now he has 10 missiles instead of. Doesn't give him extra Seekers or anything, it just gives him an extra set of missiles. So now we go up the elevator to go find the first quote-unquote boss.
Yeah, this boss is pretty nice with Seekers and 10 missiles as well, because you can use the Seekers on the little guys to go a little faster, and you can purposefully run out of missiles to basically force a double missile refill and get 10 missiles right back. And that will let you just immediately hit Dark Alpha Splinter with another volley of Seekers instead of having to wait to charge it.
I would say that's probably a good idea.
Having
the dark beam is also nice too to get through the first phase of the Dark Alpha Splinter, because you can freeze him in place and just hammer him with dark.
Oh, nice. For some reason, the AI is harder to deal with before it turns dark. I guess it gets distracted.
I don't know why. It leaps at really weird times. It's really strange.
AWP looking away to not look at particle effects. He's playing on Dolphin, so that he's doing his best to reduce lag.
Smart move. I hate. That's the only time I really lag is during room loading or particle effects like that. It really lag my computer.
Mm-hmm. So whenever you fire a fully charged shot or a missile, you get a lengthy cooldown time, but you can alternate them to get a decreased cooldown time on each of them. So that makes it a little bit faster.
The Dark Alpha Splinter just dropping us a missile tank.
That will be nice, because in order to missile drops, like when you run out of missiles, there's a really high chance you get double missile drops, but only if you're at 0 missiles out of at least 10. If you only have 5, it doesn't care.
Yes, that's true. And we got our Violet Translator, which is almost always up in here somewhere because you need it to get to the next area.
There may be future tournament matches where elevators might be random, and if that's the case, then Violet Translator could instead be down in GFMC compound.
Absolutely. Now, as I said, that there was a doomed, the visor in the doomed entry, which is one of the first places you visit in the backside of Dark Aegon.
Interesting. It'll be either Echo or Dark Visor. Dark Visor would be nice.
I'm betting it probably is the Dark Visor, but I could be wrong. There's a missile expansion in this elevator access, whichever one it is. This is a Violet transfer exit access. Ugh. Well, Diggle, if the scan visor is in doomed entry, we're in trouble. But as you said, we don't have the morph ball bombs or space jumps, so that dark beam is, if he doesn't try the TAS, he's going to have to come.
Although there is two more items he can get here. There's this item through the missile door. Oop. There he goes. He wants to shoot that before the cutscene starts. It's usually faster if you do it while you're walking towards it.
There's our Amber Translator.
Nice.
That opens up quite a few things down in Aegon, including like the sand cache or sand cache and a whole bunch of more hints and stuff.
Yeah, hints are really nice in Prime 2 Rando. There are several joke hints, and there are probably going to be several hints for items you already got, but sometimes they can save you a lot of time.
I believe there are also guaranteed hints. As far as I know, every single seed I've ever done, there are 4 hints guaranteed to tell you what each boss drops and what the Sanctuary Energy Controller turn-in is.
Yes, that is correct.
Space jump boots are an Aegon waste. It's not exactly helpful, but it's a little bit helpful.
You know, this might not be terrible routing for AWP, because even though he is going to have to come back for that Dark Beam later on, he is also probably going to want to come back after beating Bomb Guardian, because that unlocks another quote-unquote boss fight in Temple Grounds.
Yes, it does.
So he might elect to save warp shortly after Bomb Guardian.
And he might just find space jump boots along the way. THK, that question was already asked earlier, and we figured it out. We're gonna put the ETM there instead. It was just something that happened with the tracker. It's been.
Yeah, there are hints for Dark Temple keys, but that's a general term for any of the temple keys. So there was a bit of confusion.
It usually says a red temple key, and that's any of the 9 temple keys for the 3 temples. Because they're actually all the same color. You don't get to see a difference. So
On the Trekker, we typically have them in different colors, though, just to differentiate them.
yes, they are the colors that the temples give you. I believe they're the color of the translator the temple gives you. I believe. Oh man, I really had a hard time saying that part. Jeez.
Yeah.
And Op decided to bypass the Amber translator hint that he just walked past.
We'll hope he remembers it. He'll probably remember pretty soon. This fight is pretty nice with Dark Beam. Otherwise, he's gonna have to wait for the cooldown on the missiles.
Well, we know where our Annihilator beam is. It's going to be the communications area. So today, that's that'll be a nice beam to have early. And the power bombs are in the command center. Wow. Early powerful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And our first Sky Temple key is in transport access. Or portal access, excuse me, portal access.
Yeah, so Annihilator Beam is pretty nice in that it will allow you to go back and forth between portals, whether or not you have the corresponding beams for them. It'll just behave as both. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on doors.
My personal favorite of Annihilator Beam.
Annihilator
There's our space jump boots in the sand cache. My personal favorite of the Annihilator Beam is shooting Dark World crystals and beacons and just watching the Ing kill them.
Yeah. It's very handy. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Everyone remembers Annihilator opening other colored doors, but it turns out it's not true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't ever remember doing that because I never tried it. I mean, they all open the blue door, so why can't that one open dark and light? You know,
Right.
It makes sense. It's a combo. Now, I'm not sure. I believe that for my skill level, going into the Bomb Guardian and not having bombs and not getting bombs is a soft lock for me. But for some people, you can get out with slope jumps and stuff. So
yeah, there's a little bit of a mound right next to the gate that you can jump off of. It give you a little bit extra height to jump over the gate. So what AWP does here is he shoots a regular uncharged shot, and then he shoots a missile, then he shoots a fully charged shot, and that'll do 82 damage. It's a little more than half his health. And it'll basically skip one of the phases. And he was trying to finish it off on that phase too. I guess he just didn't quite have a full enough charge. Usually you can get that guy down in 2 rounds like Zoro just did. Pretty good.
And it's the Emerald translator, so we are translator heavy today.
So Zoro is a little confused. Unfortunately, he doesn't know the slope jump, so he's opting to reset.
Has he saved it at all?
Gosh, I hope so.
I don't remember him hitting a save station, but except for the one maybe near the Alpha Splinter, but I don't think he saved.
It looks like he
Looks
has.
like he did.
Okay. Well,
It looks like it was
breakable.
right before or right after the Dark Alpha Splinter fight. So
That's real unfortunate. It would be right before.
yeah, that's rough.
It's interesting to perform well in the tournament. You're gonna need to be aware of potential soft locks. There have been some seeds where you're required to go fight Bomb Guardian without bombs, and it could very well have vanilla bombs. I've had seeds where it was either that or you go through the back door to Dark Samus without Dark Beam and hope Dark Beam is vanilla. Otherwise,
I've
you
been
would be
there
stuck
before.
there. So it's a 50-50 where you're going to soft lock, pretty much.
And that's one of the more difficult things about Echoes is there are far more areas where you can get soft lock in very easily. That being one of them. There's a whole lot more of them in Echoes than I think there is in. The Dark Missile Trooper giving us nothing but a light ammo expansion.
Light ammo expansion is kind of nice, especially if you don't have to go out of your way for it. He was gonna fight Dark Missile Trooper anyway, and that'll just make the final boss a little bit easier.
Yes.
Possibly a little bit faster. Probably, because he's gonna get annihilated.
I believe the light ammo expansions give us 25 ammo per expansion in the tournament.
He doesn't have bombs. I forgot about that.
Yes, we haven't found those yet. Which means they're probably somewhere back by the power bomb. Well, it looks like we're going to get our power bomb before we get regular bombs because of the location.
It said power bombs were in command center, right?
Yes. So
So
we'll
that's
probably
the Morph tunnel. That might be logically
Not
required
with
to get bombs.
with the dark beam, you can get through the door.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't need bombs until you get those power bombs. Yeah, the power bombs could be very much required to get bombs, which will be.
Yeah, without bombs, you can't get through the front of the tunnel, but you can go to the back of the tunnel, have the tunnel lock on you, and then reload the room and go to the back of the tunnel again.
Yep. Gotta love that stuff.
Yeah, there are a lot of various room triggers to be aware of.
Our runners giving each other a kind of a high five here. Op headed back up to the temple. He's gonna do his space jump to grab the item in the violet accent, which I thought was just a missile expansion.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, there's just a small slope there you can jump up on and make it up there real easy. But he does have access to open up all the other elevators too, so he's got all the translators for it. This is, he's going to save warp back to the ship. It's faster than going. I think he's going to do that. It's faster
Looks
than
like
going down to walk all the way back to the.
It might be faster. I don't actually know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So one of the things we have in the for the randomizer is there's a warp to start option that we have enabled for the tournament, which means if you go to a save station and you elect not to save, you can press X 3 times and it'll warp you back to the beginning, the first room you started the game in. Well, in this case is the ship, and for most of the tournament, I think all of the tournament, it will be the ship every time. But if you're playing it with different settings, it can take you to other places, whatever room you happen to have started in. So.
It's a nice feature. It'll, in some cases, it can prevent soft locking. For example, if you try to sequence break into Torvis early and you don't have, like, Dark Beam or whatever, you don't have super missiles to leave, and you can just use the save station to warp out back to the ship.
Yeah, that, or You know, you go into the spider garden area in the light world because you have spider ball, but you don't have the required translator to fight him, and you can't get out, so you just go to the save station. I've done that countless times.
Right. The save warps are not taken into account for the purpose of item placement, so you'll never have to save warp to beat a seed. But sometimes you'll have to if you just make the wrong choice.
Correct.
In cases like those, you usually just want to save those potential one-way trips for last.
So in theory, our morph ball bombs could be in this tunnel right here where the op's passing through right now, because he's going to have to get power bombed.
I've seen him there at least a few times.
Because right now we do not have access to the dark world in the front because we cannot activate the portal without having. And those two pirates always love to eat their phazon. It's such a beautiful thing to see. And Op making the first pause before the cutscene error of the tournament. We'll probably see lots of those because it happens all the time. And this fight is I don't believe you can escape this fight at all. There's 3 waves. You've got three waves of pirates, the first 3 and then 2 more, and then the 2 turrets come up and you have to destroy all of them, and it's just one of those things.
Yeah. It's possible to do a bomb space jump to get around the trigger and get up to the item immediately from the door. I always go for it and never get it. But who knows, we might see it later. Alternatively, you could just go in from behind and do some tricky jumps to get to the item instead.
That is not surprising. I have not yet mastered the BSJ. I have tried it many times, and I just cannot do it. And now Op runs into the cutscene where we see our nemesis, Dark Samus, for the first time in this tournament. She is shown prior to in the actual vanilla game, but in this case, she's the first time we see her is right there. So he's going to open up the locked door and going to go get his power bombs.
And there the gate closes, and he's gonna have to just reload the room. Looking like he's gonna get the item in storage B. The room names, like those storage and some letter names, are kind of tricky to remember too. For some reason, storage A is the room right next to mining station B, and storage B is right here.
Yeah, I don't know who decided to put these names. This is the Dark Ammo expansion in Storage B. Storage C, I believe, is the Super Missile Locked room in Bioenergy Production. And Storage D is the one next to Dark Samus. That one I remember.
Yep.
Now, the in caches 1 through 6 or whatever, I'm not even going to try.
I know in cache 4 is at the start of Dark Aegon. In cache 2 is the Annihilator door.
Sometimes it gets really confusing.
Yeah, in cache 2 is the dark version of Storage C. It makes perfect sense if you don't think about it.
And there are our power bombs picked up. Now, for the purpose of the tournament, the main power bomb item is not required because I believe the expansions also grant you the item. But in this case, this is going to be the main power bombs, which gives us 2 power bombs, which is way nicer than having just 1.
There is a setting to require main power bombs to use power bombs at all. Same with the missile launcher. There's a setting to require that, but we turn them off for this tournament. But
Yeah.
the logic actually considers only the main power bombs to be your source of power bombs. So if you have some expansions but not the main power bombs, then that kind of gives you a hint at where you want to go.
It kind of also gives you a hint that your bombs are probably bomb locked.
Possibly.
Now, Op's going to take on Dark Samus 1, which should be really easy because as soon as she stops moving, you drop a power bomb and she dies.
Pretty great.
Just like that. Goodbye.
There are several items that require certain items to be collected in order for the item to spawn. For example, there's a Sky Temple key and Dark Oasis inside an ink cache in the dark version of the room Op's in right now. And that ink cache only spawns after getting the item from defeating Powerbomb Guardian. Similarly, the Dark Missile Trooper at the start of the game only spawns after getting the item from Bomb Guardian, and there's a missile on top of the ship in GFMC compound that requires getting the item from Jump Guardian.
Yes, indeed.
It doesn't necessarily matter what the item is, as long as you got the item in those rooms.
Correct.
There are a few other triggers like that as well that are less important.
I think one of the more important ones is the ability to open up the door for the Spider Guardian. Because I did not know there was a trigger for it until I found that the door was locked and could not get to the trigger.
I'm not entirely sure in vanilla if you have to get the item, but in Randomizer you do have to collect the item to trigger the items to spawn.
And there are the Morph Ball bombs in the town hall that I suspected they might be in.
Yep.
So now with the Morph Ball bombs, that gives us access to the Aegon Temple, or the energy controller. It gives us access to the mining station. With the we also have power bombs and seekers. It also gives us access to mining station B, or Bravo, whatever you want to call it. I think it's B, but I always say Bravo because I don't know. And he's going to head over to the portal chamber and get, or portal, whatever the heck, portal entryway, whatever. It's portal something.
Portal site, I believe.
And he's going to activate the main dark portal in Aegon.
So these pirates are also triggered by Bomb Guardian. You can come here before Bomb Guardian and not trigger them. However, they did need to go there to get their... Wait, no, that was just Emerald. I guess they didn't need to go there. But, I mean, they were going to route there anyway.
Wow! That's one power bomb, and he gets 5 of them. What a return on your investment there. Thanks, game. There's the dark beam in the temple grounds. Thank you so much for telling.
So conveniently, when you're out of power bombs, such as when you use power bombs to kill things, there's a very high chance that, this is like an 80% chance that the next drop will be power bombs. And if you kill a bunch of stuff in the same frame, such as when you initiate a power bomb very close to a bunch of stuff at the same time, they can all drop power bombs. That's one way. If you have like more than a couple power bomb capacity, you can just totally fill your power bombs.
And Zoro is checking the item in this room here. I don't know, no idea what the name of this room is because I can't remember, but it's just
Dynamo
missile expansion.
chamber.
I
Just a missile expansion.
can't remember, to be honest. It's one of those rooms that I know it's there and I always get it, but I never remember what the name of it is because I never check.
It hardly ever has something. I've seen a hint a couple times for it, so I know now.
And Zoro is going to be our first runner to grab the Annihilator Beam. And I think he might... Never mind. He's not going to go check the hint in the little spare room there. Because not only are there hints for the lore panels, but there are also 9 bodies of Luminoth scattered about the game that give you hints as to what is in the flying in cache of the area.
Fun fact, if you have Dark Visor and you use it in those rooms, you can see the outline of the in cache in the light world.
Okay, so he decided to come back for a check afterwards. And in this flying in cache, it's just an expansion, which is normally what you're going to see. Very rarely are you going to see something of use. The one I see most common that has an item from the Dark Ink cache is the one in the landing site, or the Defiled Shrine, or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, you're always going to see players check the hint for Ing Reliquary that Zoro just checked, and you're never going to see it required, basically. It's pretty rare.
But if it is required, you know that light is probably required as well, because while you can get to that room without the light suit, it takes a large quantity of energy tank, somewhere around the vicinity of...
Yeah, and
Zoro
also Dark Suit screw attack.
Yes, Zoro was giving us a check of the wind chamber. I can't tell what that is. I don't know if you guys...
I don't think he jumped high enough yet. Or I might check the wooden chamber gate first. Okay, it looks like a cheeseburger?
Maybe a power bomb expansion, yeah.
I'm gonna go with cheeseburger. Yeah, okay.
Very well done on those scan dashes to get across the wind chamber. Very, very smooth.
An AWP in the Dark World with no energy tanks, no suit upgrades, so he's going to be taking a lot of damage. Luckily, there's similar to the ammo refills system. If you're really low on health, at 20% or below health, ooh, energy tank, so never mind. But if you're really low on health, then you have a really high chance of getting an ultra energy refill to refill a full tank.
Yes, the game, the drop system in Prime 2 is far better than it was in Prime 1, where you could be at 2 health and get missiles. And you're like, why are you doing this to me, game? Why? Now, the next trick that we're probably going to see here is Op's going to hop over next to this little globe here, and he's just going to shoot. He's just going to shoot into the air for about, 30 seconds to a minute. What he's doing is he's hitting the preloaded boss that's already in the room, and he's going to kill the boss before spawning the boss. So all he has to do is shoot it once it spawns, and kill it very quickly. And we just got a hint on the other side that said Amorbus is guarding an ammo expansion. So Amorbus, not required for that. Doesn't mean that the item in the main area of the Aegon isn't required.
Yeah, that can certainly be a thing.
Because I did not see them check that item, so I don't know. I don't know what's there. Now, for what AWP is doing is I don't know if it's. I know that it's 21.5 fully charged shots to get the boss to the right amount of health, but I don't know what he's doing here with the amount of shots and missiles. So, but he's going to shoot it once, and it, well, he's gonna shoot it once, and it dies. There it goes.
Yeah, you have to get its health to 0, then you have to shoot it. That's pretty nice, actually. I mean, it's a long fight for just an energy tank, but you're gonna fight Jump Guardian anyway, and it's also going to unlock another item in GFMC compound to get later.
And having an extra little bit of health in the Dark World, especially early on, is superb because it's so much less panicky when instead of one energy tank you've got 2 or 3, because then you're less worried about dying in the Dark World.
Yeah, definitely. Still no light beam. Interesting. You can get pretty far in the game without light beam.
Yes, you can. The light beam is kind of required, but it's nowhere near as necessary as the dark beam is.
I'm sure it's possible to get... I think there have been seeds where light beam wasn't required at all, surprisingly.
I do believe you are right. I think that I may have actually played one once. So AWP is probably going to head towards Mining Station B if I had to take a guess, but I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't
That's a
know
good guess.
what his decision is. We haven't seen the energy controller of the Aegon Temple yet either.
Yeah, that's right. Looking like Pirate Labs. Nope. Okay. Yeah, you're probably right. Mining shaft right before mining station B, in my experience, tends to have important items fairly often.
I have seen a light beam there quite a number of times, and some other useful items like super missiles and things like such quite often as well. So
Won't be able to get to mining station B without seekers, but there's a good chance they're right
Seeker
here.
missile was the first thing we picked up at the GFMC compound, so we have them.
Right. Okay.
But Op is not taking the bait because he probably wants to go down there once he obtains the light beam to build the check storage Echo or whatever the heck's it's Alpha down there. I think storage A is down there. So I swear I'll remember it by the end of the tournament.
Oh, good. Zoro now knows the dark beam he has was on temple grounds.
And there's the boost ball in the Aegon energy controller. The boost ball. Look at that go. So that opens up the sand processing item. That opens up the item in the dark transport access. I mean, that opens up a whole bunch of stuff. So that'll be really nice.
Good hint. Let's see. Space jump. Well, no light beam. Okay. I was thinking of Hall of Honor Dead, but that will require light beam logically.
Yes.
We're playing on no tricks difficulty, so they won't be required to do any slope jumps whatsoever. However, there are higher difficulties. The next higher difficulty is trivial, and you could be required to do minor slope jumps. Like, easier slope jumps than others.
Yes,
So
they're not
Hall of Honor Dead
required,
would
but
be
they do. They do give you access to items earlier.
required.
So that'll be really nice.
Good hint.
They do give you access to items earlier.
Let's see. Space jump. Well, no light beam. Okay. I was thinking of Hall of Honor Dead, but that will require light beam logically. So AWP could actually go to the Dark World right now, and he could get out with Annihilator and Dark Beam. He won't be able to do very much. I think he can only check Doomed Entry, which we know has... Was it Spider Web?
It's a visor.
Visor, that's right.
That's the only thing he'd be able to do there because the other locations are light beam locked to be able to do anything else there. So.
Oh, AWP hasn't gotten an Annihilator yet. My bad. I was thinking of Zoro.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's probably also a good idea. But this is the sand processing item he's going to be able to check with that boost ball. So. And I apologize, I cut you off way more than I should, and I'm sorry for that.
No, that's fine. I had to cough.
Don't you be coughing that corona all over my microphone.
Oh no. I don't want to get a computer virus.
There's another energy tank. That's our 4th energy tank within the past, like, 6 minutes. So that's huge. That's really nice to have.
And I know he can beat, once he gets Dark Suit, he'll be set for the rest of the game pretty much.
Unless one of our Sky Temple keys is light suit locked, which is possible. There are several locations that do require the light suit, some of them underneath dark water and a couple of them above the light beams in the Sanctuary Gate transport, or gateway access, and the map station in Sanctuary itself. I think that might be a suit in bioenergy production.
Pretty good. Now, you could opt to just stand right between the pirates and they won't actually do anything unless you, like, bump into them.
I prefer just to nuke them in the face with a power bomb or a super missile from far away, because I don't like pirates.
Yeah. A lot of these flying pirates you can snipe before they take off.
Flying pirates are one of the more annoying enemies in the game, right up there with the spankweeds and the resbits. Oh, and the dastardly, really super annoying blogs.
Yeah. I don't mind resbits so much, but I have a pretty bad time with quads.
Yeah, quads are kind of a pain in the butt till you get screw attack, and then it's like, just get away from me.
Yeah.
And there is our first suit. The dark suit has been acquired in bioenergy production. How nice.
Now damage is basically negligible for AWP. So normally to solve this puzzle, you have to do a little more than that. But luckily, there's a convenient little notch in the corner of that platform that you could jump into.
And chat bringing up a good point. For this tournament, the purpose of this tournament, we have our suits set to progressive because there are 2. So the first suit you get will always be the dark suit, and the second suit will always be the light suit. Because if you get the light suit without getting the dark suit, you don't no longer need the dark suit. So it kind of lowers the value of the dark suit makes it basically null. However, the grapple beams, they are not progressive. So we're going to have grapple and screw attack are separate items. So you'll be able to get one or the other, whereas you can have the setting to have grapple progressive, where you have to get grapple beam first, and then it will give you screw attack second. And Zoro powerbomb did not touch that Guardian like it was supposed to.
Yeah, the reason grapple and screw attack are linked is because basically with screw attack, grapple is not entirely useless, but not at all required anymore.
Yes,
But
with screw attack, grapple is almost null. And that is the Dark Visor in the doomed entry.
oh, okay. So AWP can actually get this, and he can go to the save station to save warp out, but logically he's not supposed to get it yet because he'd be soft locked otherwise.
Uh, Logically, he still has the check, the vanilla light beam location, which I think can be the light beam.
That is true.
Which, I mean, for a randomizer to put an item in its vanilla location is just the meanest thing ever.
Especially light beam. That's a really bad one. Gonna opt to safety save.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all.
I don't think he's really worried about dying. He's just it'll be faster to just reset if light beam isn't back here.
Now, logically, he does have access back here because we do know that the Annihilator beam is available to us, so he would be able to get out if, logically speaking, but he does not actually have the capacity to do so.
It can potentially be required to come in here to get either light or annihilator beam.
And it looks like we have a Dark Aegon key in Mining Station B. I apologize if I'm far behind what you guys are seeing. My internet's being kind of poopy today.
And Zoro gets himself a nice little bug toupee.
Them little bugs are such a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Off using a nice slope jump to get onto the top of that. And oh my goodness, it's the second suit in the vanilla light beam location.
And he can't
Wow.
get it.
Wow. Doesn't have access to it, but we know where it is now.
You know, I was never sure whether it's faster to go into your menu and select quit or to use the button combination to soft reset. You can hold X, B, and start to reset the console,
I honestly didn't know that.
to reset the GameCube. It's kind of on a per game basis, but most games have that option. Zoro does not want to target that windmill. There he goes. That's a pretty good scan dash. If you hadn't already fought the pirates, that would be a way to skip them.
That's a good way of doing it.
It does skip the second pirate fight at least. So that saves them quite a bit of time.
Okay, so AWP's back in the temple grounds near the ship. He's gonna make another round. He's probably gonna go over to the GFMC compound and check what's on top of the ship. Maybe. Which means he's gonna get his annihilator beam along the way.
Oh yeah, speaking of button combos, there's also a button combination to reset your controller, in case you have, in case you accidentally held a direction when you started the game and is just drifting. You can hold I forget what it is. I think it's X, Y, and start. And that'll reset the controller. And that also has a function in vanilla speedruns, because it allows you to hold L and lock onto things without actually scanning them, which allows you to hear in bioenergy storage. Is that what it's called? Bioenergy production.
Bioenergy production, yeah.
Yeah, you can start scanning the panel to raise the platforms, and then reset your controller and keep locked onto it, and then you can back up onto the platforms, then scan it, and it'll lift you up to the item.
Ha,
Unfortunately,
that's
that
awesome.
doesn't work on certain emulators. So I think it's in the database, but it's not used for any of the logic.
AWP already did kill the Dark Missile Trooper. He's been back this way already. He got the Dark Missile Trooper killed before he actually fought the, before he got his Dark Beam, I believe. But now we have Dark Visor Seeker Missiles, so now we can get through, back through the Emerald elevator in the temple, which is kind of nice.
Gosh, so AWP has access to Incash 2 in the back of Dark Aegon, but it's not in logic without Screw Attack. You can do a really tricky scan dash to get to the Annihilator door. Pretty terrible, and I don't recommend it.
Doesn't sound like it'd be a very fun thing. That's a really long way to go.
Yeah. Even if I have an Annihilator, I just skip it anyway, unless I have Screw Attack.
That's AWP using the force or drop rate to go back to that room there and grab almost a guaranteed power bomb from those items there. So knowing that is definitely a helpful thing in the speed gaming and race community.
Yeah, because the room he's in, communication area, it actually doesn't drop anything. You can kill all the enemies you want, and you'll never get any drops. So you'll have to pick the Dynamo Chamber or Temple Assembly Site to farm ammo if you want to get to GFMC compound.
And here I thought my luck was just terrible. And that is the Screw Attack on top of the GFMC compound ship.
Okay,
So
well,
there we
Incash 2 is
go.
impossible.
Now it's time to fly.
It's actually really unfortunate that Zoro came this way without Jump Guardian defeated. He wasn't able to get that. That does put Wind Chamber access in logic. I guess Wind Chamber Gateway as well. Or no, Wind Chamber Gateway in logic. I guess that puts Grand Wind Chamber in logic as well.
And with all the items we do have access all the way up to the sanctuary entrance as well. We don't have access to get beyond that because we don't have a light beam, but we do have access to the front part of it.
He's power bombing that door and then going back for a refill. Because he will need another power bomb in Grand Wind Chamber to get to the gateway. So you need a lot of items for Grand Wind Chamber. It usually doesn't have anything, but right now they can get it with Dark Beam, Annihilator Beam, Seeker Launcher, and Screw Attack, and Boost Ball, and bombs, I guess.
Yeah, we have a prediction in chat of the light beam being in the Hall of Honor Dead, which is possible, but hopefully not. That's a pretty terrible place for it to be.
guess so. You could screw attack from the ship to get there. That makes sense.
Man, the screw attack's definitely my favorite upgrade of this game.
Yeah.
It's just you can fly, and it's so much fun.
It's a little awkward at first if you don't know that you can cancel screw attack by screw attacking faster. It's kind of annoying. You double tap B and it just cancels it. And that happens a lot to new players when they're trying to get up to the final boss.
That doesn't happen to just newer players. It happens to some older ones too.
Yeah, sure. That happened to me yesterday, actually.
I know that you can do you can screw attack without space jump, but I only managed to do it once, and I can never figure out how to do it again. So I don't know what's up with that.
It has to do with your Y coordinate, or I guess Z coordinate. I think it's Y coordinate in this game.
I cannot see what the item is in the phase-on site, but it does not look like the light beam to me.
I think in a lot of 3D games they use Z axis for vertical, but I think in this game it's Y axis for vertical.
I knew that commentating this stuff I was
It
going to
might
learn
be
lots of stuff today. Look at that. You guys are teaching me all sorts of cool things. Thank you.
So, for example, Sanctuary Fortress has its Y-axis at like really high up, so you can only screw attack with like a bomb space jump in Upper Sanctuary, basically, or on higher ledges in Upper Sanctuary. In Aegon, it's basically kind of in the middle of the area, so you could screw attack in Mining Station A sometimes. I'm not sure about
AWP shooting the rock that stopped him in mid-flight for whatever reason. Gotta love the collision. There's one thing about these games that's always fun, is if it looks like you can stand on it, you can probably stand on it. And if it looks like you can't stand on it, you probably can stand on it. So, try standing on stuff. Zoro taking a save warp, and Op choosing to save warp as well to go back to the ship because he's up in the temple, the Grand Temple, Great Temple. Ha!
I believe he does have access to Taurus logically. So that might be an option.
We could go. Yes, we could go to. I think you can use this. You can go to the Aegon portal access elevator and go to the Torvis Temple elevator that way.
That's true too. Yeah. Especially since they got Emerald in Aegon Temple.
Yes, and they also have Boost Ball, which means they can access the Torvis, come in from the backside near the Torvis Grove and open up the Great Bridge and Forgotten Bridge and all that other stuff. So they do have a lot of access in Torvis to do stuff there. But here comes our Hall of Honor dead check, which is the Sunburst.
They will need
another light beam thing that we do not need.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate because Sunburst actually does save a couple seconds on both Grapple Guardian and Emperor E1, but if it takes more than a couple seconds to get it, then it's obviously not worth it.
And generally, anything in Hall of Honor dead is not worth getting unless it's absolutely required, because that room kind of sucks.
If it's your first E-Tank, you'll probably want it.
I had no idea there was a Morph Ball tunnel in that room where AWP is in.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did not know you could come up that sand chute there.
Yeah, some players will opt to go through their first thing when they get into Aegon to check the item in Transport Center. They
I
won't be
had
able to get it, but they
no
can see what
idea
it
you
is.
could go. I had no idea. That's amazing. Wow. Wow, I felt stupid.
Phase on grounds, yeah. With screw attack, with Emerald,
I think he means phase on sight,
Dark
phase
Riser,
on
and
grounds. It is what it is.
Seekers.
The phase
Just
on
gonna.
grounds were checked. The phase on sight was not checked, but it is in logic because we do have screw attack and annihilator beam. So
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
and underneath the gateway here, an underground tunnel, is the echo visor. Wow. Okay.
Well,
So
it's something. He's gonna get the hint back here. He won't be able to progress further though without light beam. Okay.
the only reason why the area would be required at this point is if it's a Sky Temple key. Other than that,
Yeah.
don't need to go up there anymore.
That's an example of the Dark Temple key we have on the tracker. Oh, was it red key or? I thought it said Dark Temple key. If it's red key, then.
Red key and Dark Temple keys are the same thing.
Well, Dark Temple key includes the Sky Temple at the end of the game as well. Which are blue or something. Cyan.
Yeah. Turquoise? I don't know.
Cobalt? Seafoam?
I don't know. It's one of those. I'm just a guy. I don't know all the different colors.
Green. Okay. I was way off.
So where do we go now?
Did op check Incash 4 already at the start of Aegon? Dark Aegon?
I do not believe so. I don't think anybody's gone to that room yet to go even go in there.
That could very well be right. Oh, it was trash. I vaguely remember someone going in there. I can't remember who though. It was probably Zoro.
I mean, we've had an hour of two things going on at the same time, so it's really hard to remember anything from what happened an hour ago, to be honest.
So this could be Zoro's chance if he goes to Torvis entrance pretty soon. AWP, he seems like he's not liking his choices at the moment.
I don't like his choices either. They're pretty crap right now.
Well, they're not paying off.
There's only two options down here. He's gonna go check mining station B, which we know to be irrelevant.
An Aegon key. Well, I don't know if we checked Mining Plaza yet, but still probably irrelevant.
Right, probably irrelevant. Unless, and we know Morvis doesn't have an item, and nobody has looked there, or at least I have not seen them look there, so I don't know what's there.
Although with Echo Visor and Screw Attack already, I mean, there's a good chance there could be something there, actually.
The light beam could be there.
It's just, where are the other Aegon keys, though? We've only found one so far. It's this one right here.
And the hint in mining station B is, hey, the dark key here is the
Yeah.
Dagon key. That's funny. That's awesome.
I used to get hints like that all the time.
That's the Jobs game. The hints are there mainly to torment you and troll you, but there are like 4 of them that are actually useful, maybe 5.
There can be quite a few. Like, if you get an early hint for a beam, that can be really useful. Especially something like there's a beam in storage D, which is where you get vanilla dark beam. So if you don't have dark beam but you have light beam, well, you might just want to go there.
Very true.
AWP
And,
getting a tricky slope jump.
very nicely done to grab this key.
He could powerbomb that wall and not shoot the light door because he doesn't have light beam.
No, he could, but he doesn't have any power bombs, so he's not going to.
I guess he could stop and farm to not be able to go through.
Seems a little bit out of the unnecessary realm there. So I think AWP might go and check the in cache in the back where the sonic boom normally spawns.
Zoro looking to follow AWP's footsteps. This is such a gross check.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Could absolutely be the answer. Nice. Doing some tricky screw attacks to get up to the top of the room. There are a lot of ways to do rooms that don't necessarily require hard tricks. It just requires more items sometimes. Like, there's a really hard slope jump just to get to the top of this room with just space jump. Or there's a bit of an easier bomb space jump. Or you could just have the spider ball and climb up. Or you could use screw attack like AWP did.
Yeah, I mean,
Or you could
there
go
are
around with light
plenty
beam.
of times. Exactly.
That's the thing I would love about Echoes. So many items to unlock one thing. So many ways to route the game.
It definitely gives you a different feel than Metroid Prime 1 randos. Like, those just seem like they're very fast and very fast paced, where these ones are more like, I have to figure out how to open this door. I need this, and this to get it, and I need to find where those things are to be able to get into this room. It's the puzzle aspect is what I really enjoy about it.
Yeah.
Alright, Zoro, sorry, you can't go out that door. You must stay and fight.
It's one of the reasons you can opt to come here before Bomb Guardian, because the pirate fight doesn't spawn, so the door doesn't lock. But that's the only door that locks when the pirate fight starts, so you can get away with just never having to go through that door for the rest of the run. Zoro opting for the screw attack method to kill these guys.
And here comes our check from AWP. What is in this room? Is it something useful? It is a temple key.
Maybe, but
Oh, it's an
dude.
Aegon Temple key. Do you think by now they would check to see what item is in the main or the main plaza?
Mm-hmm. Even still, they need a third key. So he's checking his menu for the, like, what Dark Temple keys he has. Optionally, you could check the map as well. Unfortunately, on Dolphin, the map lags horrendously.
Well, the dark world map is far less laggy than the light world map.
As you can see
Light
here,
world map is awful.
it's still reasonably laggy. And even more laggy in light. Yeah.
I can feel AWP right now because my God, I'm confused too. I have no idea what's left to go. What's left to do?
Although, fun fact, there is an option in the randomizer to not unlock the full map, and that'll actually alleviate some of the lag from map checks.
That's what I do. I don't turn it on. I try to minimize lag when I can because Dolphin is pretty rough.
It's one of the couple advantages playing on a Wii has over a PC, unfortunately.
Yes, I would agree. AWP going back to check to make sure that it was not the light beam that he saw there.
If I were him, I would screw attack into the tunnel above and go to Torvis right now.
To answer a question in chat, Diggle, yes, they can. They can get over to. I believe they can check the items, but they can't.
They absolutely can, yeah.
They can't do anything else in it.
They need boost ball, which they have. They need.
Oh wait, no, they don't have a spider ball to climb up.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, that's out of logic. That's
Right.
correct.
Right.
I was thinking screw attack actually gives you access to the item, but it's not in no tricks. I believe it's in trivial. So they're able to get it. It just won't be light beam. Well, I mean, it won't be spider ball. It might be light beam if they get spider ball and supers in Torvis.
Oh, is there any mods on to get rid of this?
That's the crowd. The fans are watching.
So I mean, the choices we have right now are highly limited into where we can go.
Oh, jeez. Is AWP going for sync entrance?
He's headed that way, but he's got Echo Visor now, so he can check the sonic lock in the room he's close to, but he's not going that way.
Oh, dude. Profane Path has a Dark Temple key, doesn't it?
Yes, it does have a red temple key, so...
And that's open with Echo and Annihilator. So I didn't see, but if they ever went into the entrance to Aegon and looked up, we probably would have immediately seen a very glowy object, potentially.
It is true. I don't even know if they looked up there though, so I don't know. I don't know. I didn't look, to be honest.
Personally, I never check there without space jump, and then I'll typically forget to check there once I do have space jump. Just because I don't pass through that elevator
That's
anymore.
not good for Zoro. I
He
think he
did
may
at
have crashed
least
again.
save.
That's good. It's a good time. He's a good thing that he saved this time. So yeah, it looks like his computer crashed again. The poor guy. But Op is headed towards the. He's headed for the profane path now, so should be interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, I don't know when he saved, but he saved at some point during the run.
Yeah, he
At
has
least.
he has saved because he's saved warped a couple times. So
Yeah. Well, assuming he actually went and refilled his ammo at the ship and saved
it looks
there.
like he's got 150 light ammo and 100 dark ammo. So you don't usually have completely max ammo without hitting an ammo station
True.
or shooting those little seahorses at the bottom of
Also true.
the under temple access or whatever that room is called.
All right. Moment of truth. Is this and the last Aegon key?
That was a nice, beautiful thing to see there. If it is, then I would probably say that a Morbus is probably going to be required for that light beam. But I don't. We haven't
Likely.
looked.
Oh, hitting the side of the panel instead of the front. It's red, and it's Aegon.
Well, I'm way behind. Wow.
Yeah, I just refreshed, so.
Oh yeah, I was way behind. Holy cow! I was like 30 seconds behind.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, this is the Echo's trolliness that we're accustomed to seeing as runners. This is the kind of crap that happens quite often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can get 1.5 hour seeds. We can get 3 hour seeds. We can sometimes get more than that.
Yeah.
Okay, AWP's being a gentleman and pausing here.
That's one of the best things about the community is that while they're racing against each other, if something happens, he's not going to be like, well, I'm just going to continue and you can kiss off. It's he pauses and he'll wait, and that's nice to see. It also gives us commentators a break too, so we can, take a breath, grab a drink of water, whatever.
Yeah, you might as well save while he's here.
So now I think AWP is going to go back down to the central mining station, or mining station A, and check out to see what's in the Echo Lock location there, because if they haven't seen it yet, they're probably going to be furious that that's where the light beam is, or something is there. Could be a spider ball, it could be the light beam, it could be something required. I mean, those are the only two items right now that actually provide us any access to anything. So
It looks like they're just having AWP continue. We won't know for a while, I guess. I'm hoping Zoro keeps going, but it will take quite a while for his computer to reboot again.
technical issues like that are the worst way to lose a race or be hurt in a race like that. It really sucks.
This is the kind of thing I'm worried about because Like, I rarely have technical problems, but that just means they're waiting until a tournament match, you know?
Of course, you're like, "No, don't say it now. You better knock on some wood, boy. You don't want to lose your chance of having no tech issues during this. This is when you don't want to have tech issues happen.
I live life.
There it
Oh,
is. The light beam is echo locked in the central mining station. So Amorbis is required. Digglerath, you might want to apologize to these guys when they get here later.
yeah. Well, luckily I've already had bad luck. I did a practice run the other day where my power went out. So, uh,
So hey, man, don't do it. Don't jinx yourself. I'll jinx myself all I want because I don't race. So I'll
also
talk.
my console crashed yesterday. So
That's
all
even
that's
worse.
left is an internet outage, which even then I could just locally require it.
And in this day and age, the virus just might kill your internet.
Yeah.
So AWP is making the journey over to fight our favorite triple worm jerk known as a Morbus. It's a very easy fight with light beam, or without light beam it kind of sucks, but and he doesn't have super missiles either. So this is going to take a little bit of time.
It's too bad AWP didn't get to generate the seed. He typically generates pretty quick seeds. Well, actually, he has generated some trolley seeds recently. He generated one seed the other day where Space Jump was in main gyro chamber in Sanctuary.
That is awful. And I don't mean that as a pun on his name. And there's there's the first pause of that cutscene. Everybody does that because the cutscene looks like it's ready to pause. You just start to skip it, and then it's like, nope, we're not there yet, so you're gonna have to pause it.
Yeah, I get to
I do
that
that
room and
every single game.
I'm always like, there's something I need to remember about this cutscene. Okay, I gotta skip it right now. Nope, that's a pause. That's what I was supposed to remember.
Yep, it happens to everybody. Everybody does it. It's such a pain. It's because the accursed screen goes white first. You're like, all right, pause. Oh, Diggle. The worst thing happened. The light beam is in the central mining station, locked behind the echo visor and the screw attack. So you're gonna have to apologize to them later on.
Oh, jeez. This is especially bad actually because a Morbis is a pretty quick fight when you have super missiles or light beam, and he has neither.
Yes, so that significantly slows the boss fight down because you have to use charge beams and missiles, and it just takes forever.
hmm He's getting a little too close there.
As a bonus, he's got the dark suit, so that makes it a little bit easier.
I think he's trying to bait out a little swipe attack there. Unfortunately, it's actually hitting him and losing him time.
It's a smart decision to make because if you give them enough time, they will
Oh yeah,
boom. Yeah, they will bind together to do this unstoppable laser for like 45 seconds or some obnoxious amount of time.
it's a good call then. And Zoro is back online. Okay.
Good to have him back.
And maybe he's back offline? No, he's
No,
still
I
there.
think
Okay.
he's just trying to think of what he's going to do at this point. He's trying to decide where am I, and what do I have to do.
Or just working on his computer stuff.
The man has more patience than I do, because I would have rage smashed my computer and I had to go buy a new one. I hate it when tech issues happen like that.
Recovering his splits, I see. Okay.
Now, to be fair, if they had looked up there an hour ago, they would have known that a Morbus was required. So
Although,
they could have done this hunt a lot faster if they had known that they were going to have to kill him.
I don't know though, because either way, you're gonna have to hunt something down. In this case, it was Aegon keys. And AWP made the call right after getting that Aegon key to go look at the item.
At least the Morbus is a relatively quick fight. I mean, obviously we've already said without supers and White Beam, it does take a little bit longer, but it's not like in a Checa fight, which takes forever and a day, no matter what you have.
Mm-hmm. Just 5 missiles and its face breaks.
And we have Zoro going on an exploration of somewhere that I don't recognize.
Yep, this is... Is he trying to go to Torvis? No. Oh, okay, he's in mining
I'm not gonna lie, out of
mining chamber,
bounds knowledge
mining
for
station.
me is basically non-existent. So these are the things that I do not know about.
So every room is in a box. Basically, Out of Bounds has very unique physics, where every room is contained inside this invisible boundary box, and the boundaries of that box has this sticky substance that you slowly float up in, that also behaves as a standable platform, and you're able to jump out of the boundary within 3 frames of uh, dropping off the ledge. So that lets you climb to the top. And from there, you can uh, basically do whatever you want. In this case, he is going to the very top of the box and then morphing to disable the collision to drop down onto the door. And then he's on his way to go check the item in storage A, I believe.
And yes, to answer your question, chat too, for the purposes of this tournament, the out of bounds is not required logically, so anybody could do it. Anybody can run in these. The way we wanted it to set up was to be able to allow anybody of any skill to be able to run in this tournament no matter what. And if you can do the tricks, you can. If you don't, you don't.
Hmm.
And sometimes the tricks take longer than not doing them, depending on your skill level and knowledge of the out of bounds tricks, because
Okay.
they can be tricky.
He opted just to get the Aegon key, which is fine. I would have preferred to see him go into storage A, because that's actually only a light beam door on one side. The other side is just a blue door, so he could have opened it and gotten out
Funny
and
enough, it's
gotten the item.
one of the few doors in the game that has a different colored backside. I believe the vanilla dark beam, vanilla light beam, and that is the only other door in the game that has that.
Well, actually, there is door in Plane of Dark Warship that's a seeker door, and the back side of it, I believe, is the super missile door for some reason.
Really?
It's
I
either
didn't know
that
that.
one or something else. It's either that one or Phazon Grounds. I forget which. I think it's Plane of Dark Warship.
Well, you learn something new every day, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Also, actually, Torvis Temple, I believe, is a super missile door with no cap on the back of it. So you can actually go in there after fighting Quadraxis and returning the energy to Eumos, and then taking the teleporter to go to Torvis Temple, and then just leaving through the door, and it'll remove the cap, the super missile cap.
Yeah, I've had to do that before in the in my some of my runs. I've had to do that, and it's kind of crappy. I'm not gonna lie, but at least you don't have to shoot the super missile.
Right, Seeker's door in Lower Torvis as well. It just has a blue door behind it.
So now with the Morbus energy turned in, we can go get our light beam and continue on with this lovely trash heap of a journey that we've had so far.
Mm-hmm. So, even though the item does exist before fighting a Morbus, in order to open that gate at the far side, you have to shoot these echo locks, which only appear after returning the light energy from or the light energy to the Aegon Temple. That's a real obscure trigger.
Gotta love some of this. What's like? It's just like that. The Dark Oasis in cache. Just one of those things. You're like, why? Why are you doing this to me?
Mm-hmm.
Now AWP is getting ready to get that item and then get out of Dodge. He's not going to stick around in Aegon anymore. I don't think we have very many things left. I do believe he will pick up the light suit before he leaves, though, because that is kind of a nice thing to have.
So just a few more worms, and Zoro will also finally be able to continue the seed. Yeah, it's really convenient that light suit is right next to feeding pit, so you could just drop down into the into the dark water and just get an instant item check.
Absolutely, definitely a good place to go and get it perfect. You know, almost perfect, because it's still a really crappy location regardless.
Yeah, it's probably worth it for light suit.
I would say yes, definitely worth it for light suit.
There's that missile expansion Zoro could have gotten with that out of bounds. But it did save a bit of time, just as opposed to, well, I don't know. It might have saved time as opposed to going around through the Aegon Temple to get here. Depends how fast you are at out of bounds, really. It was, at the very least, interesting.
Absolutely, it's nice to see. Nice to see some of the new tech that I didn't know about, and probably won't try anytime soon in my runs.
It's pretty risky. Out of bounds is something you should learn before using in tournaments, but it's not so bad.
And that is why I will not be a runner, and I will be a commentator and tracker because I don't want to learn that stuff.
Just another E-tank at Sand Canyon.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the laser beams that AWP was trying to avoid. It takes forever. You just sit here and you stare at the boss for 30 seconds because you can't do anything.
Yeah, getting hit by those beams disables your cannon for about 5 years. Back when I ran vanilla, I used to do out of bounds just to do out of bounds. Like I wasn't good enough to do the inbounds scan dash for Grand Abyss to skip grapple beam, so I just used out of bounds instead, which is about as slow as just going and getting grapple beam anyway. And I did it extra slow because I didn't know all the standable spots. I just kind of
AWP
winged it.
picked up the sonic boom in the ventilator or ventilation access area there. I mean, it does a lot of damage, but it's not really all that useful.
Zoro obtaining the temple energy and then finding out he has all the Aegon keys and he can go fight a Morbus.
One of those wonderful little cutscenes. And here is AWP getting his light suit, otherwise known as the best looking suit in any Metroid Prime game, period.
I still prefer Phazon. Although the Morphwall does kind of look like a white tiger.
It is very nice. And there's the spider ball that was light
Wow.
suit locked. Gross. Gross. Man, Bash is so mean for rolling this seed, man. Jeez.
So about all that's left is super missiles. They might need gravity booster. They might need cobalt translator. And as we said before, Spider Guardian is about a 50-50, whether it's required or not.
Indeed. It's very often required. Most people don't like it being required, but very often it is indeed required.
Oh, just double checking that that is indeed just an expansion. When it takes you this long to find light beam, you kind of forget what your hints were.
It's better to be safe than sorry at this point, especially when it's been an hour and 40 minutes since you had your, since you've read a lot of things recently.
That's one of the reasons I hate going to check my temple key hints when I only have 4 collected. For some reason, when I have 5 hints, I always forget one of them. And I have to double check in my logbook.
Yeah, I make a point to say, remember this hint, and then I promptly forget it. So I know how you feel.
So it just depends where those Sky Temple keys are. If there's one in, for example, transit tunnel south in Lower Torvis. You're gonna need gravity booster to get that. Or transit tunnel east as well.
Yeah, there could be one in hydro chamber storage, which would be amazing.
I'm not 100% sure if that requires gravity boost to leave on no tricks.
Yeah, I think on no tricks it does.
On harder difficulties, you can be forced to fight Alpha Blog without gravity boost. Pretty annoying. You basically need to face tank a bunch and get really lucky that his mouth opens.
That's not the kind of chances I want to take.
Mm-hmm. I'll tend to die with like 3 energy tanks just because it refuses to accept the super missile damage.
That's always a nice thing. So, now that the seed is really ready to go, we can now do a whole lot of stuff that we want to see. Now that we can actually
Like
do
Harry.
stuff, let's go do it.
Basically, all of Sanctuary is available except for, well, there are 4 items locked by Cobalt Translator. 3 of them behind Spider Guardian and 1 of them in a map station.
Let's not talk about those things.
Gravity Boost only locks 4 items, I believe. There's 1 in Torvis Lagoon at the entrance to Torvis. And there's the 2 transit tunnels I mentioned, and the one by Alpha Blog that you mentioned, which could itself be Gravity Boost.
Yes, unfortunately, I have seen vanilla gravity boost there far too often to count.
I think I've seen that twice.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you don't have gravity boost and you go down there and it's not there, you can't get out. Okay, let me rephrase. I can't get out. Other people might be able to.
For hints like Accursed Lake, typically if I don't remember it, I'm never going to go there because it was probably not important. I usually remember if a key bearer actually has something.
Yeah, those are a little bit more, a little bit easier to remember. But some of the actual the actual Sky Temple key clues from the Sky Temple, I forget those all the time.
Yeah, AWP actually recently updated his Dolphin version, and that helped with a lot of the lag. So that's pretty nice.
There's a new version of Dolphin?
I don't know how recent it was, but I think he upgraded like within the last month or so.
Well, I need to get a new Dolphin then because my Dolphin runs like crap too.
Oh, a dev build. Okay.
Now we get to have a party on the bridge.
I used to hate this fight, but like once I started getting it pretty quickly, I've come to enjoy it, especially with power bombs, dark beam, and missiles.
Yeah, if you just blitz across the bridge and get to the other side and just power bomb that whole group, you pretty much win.
Although one very dangerous part is the bridge itself having phazon canisters, and if you use boost anywhere near those, they could explode and do over a tank's worth of damage.
Yeah, it's a lovely surprise.
Yeah, so this is another instance where you have to reload the room to get a different layer, so that in this case these turrets are activated. These well, this turret up here rather.
And now we get to see what item is in the sanctuary entrance. Come on, super missiles. That looked like the gravity boost to me.
Interesting. That's one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, I mean it's nice. So, but
Although a lot of lower Torvis does not require gravity boost, it sure is nice to have.
it definitely makes life a lot easier.
Oh, nice. I didn't know the dark beam explosion actually gives you refills on those little bursters.
I did not know that either.
I always found it weird that you can use light beam on them to get dark beam ammo, but if you use dark beam ammo, they drop nothing.
It's one of those things. You never know.
Conveniently, these quads are vulnerable to screw attack when they're spinning. Unfortunately, AWP is vulnerable to spinning when he's not screw attacking.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. You could choose to do some tricky tricks to skip that quad, and these res bits won't come to life. But one nice thing about killing the quad is you can actually use the res bit at the top to give yourself a platform to jump up and get the item quicker. Which I don't think you'll be going for, but it's nice to know. It's just looks like Sonic Boom.
We have already found the Sonic Boom.
Oh. What was that? That wasn't Supers, was it? Oh, it was Cobalt? Okay. That was way off. My bad.
Yes, yeah, I didn't see it, so I don't know. I didn't want to comment on something I didn't see.
Yeah. So alternatively, instead of boosting from place to place, you could actually unmorph on the first one, like on the top of the first one, and just stand on it, and then jump to the dome in the center, and then jump next to the spider track and stand on the little opening, and then morph in spider ball.
It's definitely a cool trick to learn. Once I saw it the first time, I was like, hey, that's pretty impressive. I like that.
Yeah, it looks really cool. But it's definitely safer just to do it vanilla. There is a chance you just don't land on the tunnel and you just fall down. So yeah, with Cobalt in hand, that's just super missiles from Go mode for sure. Yeah, I would not be surprised to see super missiles as Spider Guardian.
Oh, come on now. That's just mean.
That's just life, man. That's what AWP is thinking too.
I mean, they know the trolliness of this game very thoroughly because I know AWP has been through the Spider Guardian more times than is humanly possible because almost all of his seeds have them.
So there is also a Spider Guardian locked item that is possible to get without Spider Ball. Unfortunately, there is also a statistically high rate of the one item you can't get without Spider Guardian being required. You could get the one inside the tunnel exiting Spider Guardian with a tricky jump. You could get the one in the dark version of the room with out of bounds. But the other item just doesn't spawn until Spider is dead.
Most unfortunately. The Spider Guardian is one of the more annoying bosses in the game. Not because it's difficult, it's just sometimes really it's just annoying. It's just annoying. That's the best way to put it.
Sure. It's the closest thing this game has to the Life Grove tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. I suppose it would be.
So I'm going for a tricky trick here. You can use the railing on the side of the spider track to block your camera, which forces you to morph instantaneously, which allows you to stick to the magnetic railing with Spider Ball. Only gives it a few tries, and it's just a power bomb anyway, so it's probably not worth it. So he's bailing.
Definitely not worth investing a whole lot of time into, but it's definitely worth trying.
If you're better than me, you could actually make it into the tunnel without having Spider Ball. Through the same method. Although you could just use screw attack to get in as well.
That I didn't. Yeah, I've seen the screw attack one. Hey, look, there's another Sky Temple key in the calling chamber. I must have missed
That's
that.
nice.
Must have missed that when Op went through it.
Op's there pretty much right now. And I think he's purposely dropping down because for some reason, if you drop down when the Metroid is there, the Metroid just leaves.
Yeah,
He's
it's really
gone.
nice. He pieces out. He's like, nope, I'm out, dude. Don't want to be here. I didn't want to be here anyway.
Yeah, that's hazing Cliff, and that Metroid is Cliff, the one being hazed.
That's a good way of putting it. Very good way of putting it.
He's a newcomer to the Dark Metroid Brotherhood. Op going for a very interesting play, checking Hive entrance. This will require screw attack, light suit, and dark visor to get the
The
dark
dark ink cache
cache.
there, yeah.
Sorry, I was
It's
just really distracted by that interesting sound.
yeah, it's so far. This is one of the worst checks because it's just so far out of the way in comparison to everything else in this area.
Audio is kind of funny emulated in this game. Sometimes the audio, like the nearest thing to, I guess, the microphone or whatever in the game is just like out of bounds or something, and it's just some random drone. So you won't even hear yourself screw attack or anything. You'll just hear that drone humming real loudly. Ooh,
Ooh, and
very
it
good
pays
play.
off. That's a vanilla key.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, maybe French vanilla. I don't know if
French
it's the
vanilla,
actual
yeah.
number key or not, but it's close.
Close, yeah. I think that's number 5 in vanilla. Not entirely sure.
It's 5 or 6, yeah, because there's two in each zone and then 3 in the temple ground. So I don't know. Yeah, it's 5 or 6, one of those two. But you're probably right.
Kind of a tight jump to get up onto this platform here. It's got to be like a 3 or 4 frame window to jump up on there.
You would know better than I, sir.
I used to never be able to make it until I started waiting to space jump.
I have a couple of viewers who always try to teach me new stuff when I'm running, and I'm like, man, I don't want to learn new stuff. And then I learn, and I'm like, that was awesome!
Right? That's half the fun of Echoes. Prime as well. One very handy use of Charge Annihilator Beam, or in this case Sonic Boom, is being able to destroy a huge swarm of enemies like that and getting a ton of ammo refills.
I love watching the ammo rain. It's just so amazing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It also conveniently clears the way for these Seekers. There's another nice sky temple for AWP. If you're not going to find your Go Mode item, at least find some temple keys, right?
Absolutely. Because you need them. Unfortunately, you need them at some point in the game, towards the end, somewhere around the lines, you know.
Yeah. The more you find first, the easier it is to remember hints later on.
Definitely gonna agree with you there, for sure.
Zoro, meanwhile, fighting Dark Samus 2. I like this fight personally. Uh, she takes extra damage from Dark Beam, and on top of that, whenever you charge Dark Beam, it has these particle effects that latch on to the enemies and deal extra damage.
It's one of those nice things. She is her name is Dark Samus, but she actually is a being of the light world. So it kind of makes sense that the dark beam would do extra damage to her.
AWP going for this little screw attack into the tunnel. So I used to think it's actually impossible to screw attack into the tunnel because every time I tried it, I would just fall out. I would just drop through the floor of the tunnel. But apparently, sometimes you just land in there and you get to stay in. So yeah, this is a logically required Spider Guardian seed.
Outstanding. Just like we said it would be. So that's the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first one's required. Look at that. And I didn't even see what was required. I totally missed it because I wasn't paying attention. My kid was giving me something. What did I miss?
Looks like just beam ammo on Dark Samus too, and it's a Sky Temple key in the back of Dynamo Works.
Oh, lovely. Hop's gonna be happy about that.
So there are like 3 ways to get in there. There's the screw attack method, which sometimes even if you get in, you just randomly pop out. There's the slope jump method, which sometimes you'll get in and still randomly like fall out anyway, just from just pressing the control stick or accidentally boosting out of it. And then there's a bomb space jump method that DCR found, and he says it's easier. I haven't personally given it a try, but it does require bomb space jumping. But either way, it's a pain.
Yeah, I would say so. It definitely sounds like it would be a pain.
We're running out of... Well, I guess we're not really running out of checks. Zoro doing a pretty nice bomb space jump into a screw attack to get into this tunnel with having to trigger the cannon.
Yeah, I suppose that's one way to do it. That's my favorite cannon in the game because he just blows up that jerk real quick.
Mm-hmm. Usually I personally just activate the cannon, then activate the sound lock to open up the path to the item, and then I take the cannon and kill the dude at the same time.
Yep, because quads are one of the biggest jerks in the game.
If I don't have Dark Visor, I'll probably just bomb space jump in and then do it the same way Zoro did.
To each his own.
Ing Hive Key. We get a key that is absolutely not required for any reason.
And even when they are required, you can go around them.
Yep. Doing the very same bomb space jump that Zoro did to get the previous item. AWP gets to use what I mentioned before, just using the cannon to both kill the thing and get into the tunnel.
It really is a nice feeling to just to blow that sucker up.
Conveniently, the cannon deals 500,000 damage per frame.
Which is just... I thought it was 50,000. No, you're right. It's 500,000. That's astronomical. That's just an astronomical amount of damage.
So in Prime 1, you can use Boost Ball on enemies to deal 50,000 damage per frame, I think. On certain enemies, I guess. Including Ridley. Right. Yeah, and on Resbits, they deal 4 times damage, so it's 2 million. 20 million?
That's disgusting. And there's
2
a
million.
missile expansion in the vault.
Is it 100 times? I thought it was 4 times. No, it's 4 times, right.
And here we have AWP making his venture into the Spider Guardian. And Diggle says that Cheka is required? I must have missed something.
Wait, did that say Chica, or did it say Torvis Temple, or did it say Torvis Arena? Well, Dark Torvis Temple or Dark Torvis Arena. Chica has a Sky Temple key? Okay.
Oh my goodness, this is just the trashiest seed
Well, I guess
ever.
We're not just supers for Go mode then.
And here I was looking forward to going home in an hour.
Luckily, I am home. Yeah, unfortunately, we're canceling the tournament. We can't tolerate seeds like this.
This is all Bash's fault. Welcome to Echoes. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Bash.
So in the vanilla game, Spider Guardian is one-shot by power bombs, and he just instantly dies. Unfortunately, that's not good enough to get the item. You actually need him to destroy the barriers to get to, like, to get through the end of the tunnel to get to the
It
item.
doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense that that's the way it works, but it does. You do have to kill him to get those barriers destroyed. So, I did not know that the power bombs one-shot him. I never had them at this point.
Yeah. So you really don't want to use power bombs on him in vanilla. Luckily, in Randomizer, it's set to just set to stun him. So you can use a power bomb instead of 3 regular bombs to activate the bomb slots.
So in Rando, we set our blasters to stun, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure some people will go for Cannonball in the tournament. Cannonball is very handy against Chica, especially, because for some reason the second phase, where it's flying around, is vulnerable to Cannonball, where you're rolling around. So you just, like, sit in the dark water and then bomb jump up to her, and it insta-kills.
Hmm. I have no idea how to do a cannonball, but that sounds like it could be fun.
Pretty buggy. Basically, you go out of bounds first of all, so that kind of rules it out for you, doesn't it?
I mean,
And
I'm never opposed to learning new things.
fair. It is pretty awesome though. Uh, you take a cannonball shooter when you're in the incorrect room. Basically, when you're out of bounds, you can go into other rooms without the game knowing that you've moved on to the other room. So it thinks you're in the previous room, and as such, it will just it'll have wonky physics. It'll sometimes just unload the room, etc. In in the case in Sanctuary Fortress, you want to go to the temple out of bounds and then go towards Spider Guardian, and there's a cannonball shooter there, and you can just take that cannonball shooter, and it'll launch you through the air, but you won't collide with anything because the room will unload mid-flight, and then you can eventually unmorph, and uh, you'll retain that cannonball state as long as like anytime you go into morph ball, you'll be dealing 500,000 damage per frame, and on top of that, you're invincible.
Well, heck, that sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah. It basically also allows you to go anywhere in the Dark World without taking any Dark World damage or any damage whatsoever because you're invincible.
Unlimited power.
Mm-hmm. And Zoro at least knows out of bounds, considering he used it to get to Mining Station B earlier. So we might
Very
see
well
it from
done,
him.
by the way, too.
Yeah.
And here we
Unfortunately,
go. To,
a lot of bosses are immune to Cannonball. It's
oh,
just
oh,
Chica 2 is an exception.
that's. I mean, at least they managed to program something correctly, right?
Right. I think AWP would like super missiles as soon as he can get his hands on them. Uh, I didn't notice. Did he save? I thought I saw him save, but I was busy yapping away.
I couldn't tell you. I miss things every now and then by looking at different screens and just forget what I've seen. So
Okay. If he did save, he does have the option to look at the item during the fight, and if it's what it is, which is light beam ammo in this case, it's he could just reset. But unfortunately, it looks like he's gonna go through with the fight. So what AWP is doing during the fight is he's shooting a charged dark shot and then running into Dark Samus, which causes it to throw its shield up, but the dark beam is inside the shield doing damage constantly, so it does a lot more damage than normal. It's kind of like you have your own in-claw projectile spewing dark.
So continuing on, we just need our super. Do we have any hints to where our supers are? I don't think we do. I haven't seen any. So I mean, they could be. These things could be anywhere. Have we been to the Torvis Temple yet?
No, I don't. We've only dipped into the side of Torvis without light beam so far. So Zoro is just doing his little cleanup through Torvis right now. This could be the. This could be a pretty big comeback. We find missile launcher, which allows them to launch missiles, which you could already do on these settings.
Missiles is such an integral part of this this match or this game that it's hard to work without them.
Mm-hmm. It at least gives him an increase of 5 to his capacity. And Sky Temple Key 8 is a nice find as well. So Zoro's going to need to find super missiles to win this race. And AWP is going to need super missiles to either be here in Sanctuary somewhere or in Lower Torvis somewhere. Because he went to Sank Entrance and got his gravity booster, whereas Zoro has not. Right. Supers cannot be
supers
on
can't
Lower
be
Torvis.
down there
That's
because you need supers to get down there. So, yeah, it's got to be in Upper Torvis or somewhere in Sanctuary we haven't seen yet, which we're running out of locations for that to be.
Why do I keep forgetting that?
Because it's so easy to forget sometimes.
Yeah, all of Lower Torvis is locked out by supers in no tricks. On normal logic, you could be required to go through the back of Lower Torvis from Sanctuary, but it's a really tricky boost ball off of a spider track to get through a tiny hole, like tiny gap between the statue's head and the ceiling.
I apologize if I seem somewhat distracted. I am a little bit tired and I'm having trouble focusing, but I'm trying. I'm trying desperately.
It's only been 2 hours.
Okay, I was up early with my son this morning. Kids can ruin your day.
Well, it's been more like 3 hours with the false start we had. Missile system in Temple Grounds, which probably refers to the Seekers they already found. Actually, I think they've gotten everything in Temple Grounds by this point.
Do we know the item in the defiled shrine?
That would be Dark Temple Grounds. Well, actually, Sky Temple Grounds or something?
Yeah,
it is
Sky Temple Grounds. So I'm just saying it's still a temple ground. It's there. It could be something
important. The hints actually do differentiate the two, though. Like, it will say Aegon for Light Aegon, and it will say Dark Aegon for Dark Aegon.
Way to be a buzzkill.
It's very helpful for the runners, though.
Yeah. Way to ruin my fun. No, but you're right, though. You're right. I am definitely wrong. It's true. It is definitely the Sky Temple ground.
These spider tracks are always pretty tricky.
Yeah, but at least they gave you those nice little red bars to tell you when to drop your bomb. It's like, hey,
they do.
Drop it here.
But you also kind of have to make sure you actually you're holding up when you get blasted up, just to make sure you actually get on the next higher spinner.
That is definitely true.
What do we have? It's just a missile expansion,
Missile
I think.
tank, so being in here is trash.
That's not super missiles either. Although, did Op get the Chica hint? Or was that Zoro?
No.
I think that was Op. So he's gonna be
Now,
collecting this temple key.
chat saying that, yes, I believe that the supers could be in the
Op did. Okay.
It is possible because you can kill Quadraxis to use the energy transport system to get to the Torvis energy controller that way and get your super missiles that way. So it
That
is
is correct.
possible for it to happen. It would be absolutely tragic at this point, but it could happen. I believe it's logical.
Yeah,
I could be wrong though.
that is indeed in logic. Unfortunately, just a hive key for AWP. So it could very well be an oops all bosses seed. Now, I'm guessing Zoro's probably not going to go for it, but he could opt to actually go out of bounds to get around that requirement. Especially if he gets a hint for it. If that happens to be where supers are. What you got for us, Vault?
I
Missile
do
expansion.
have all of the Torvis keys tracked. They're on the tracker.
Oh, we got them all already. Wow.
I think something may have been missed. We don't have all 3 Torvis keys, do we?
I didn't notice, honestly.
We do. Okay, wow. Jeez. There's so much to pay attention to!
Pretty impressive.
Captain MD is one of those guys who sees everything and knows everything, so I definitely trust him when he tells me I missed something.
Yeah. Forgotten Bridge and Abandoned Worksite. Sounds good. Wow. That would explain it. Yeah, I must have been watching AWP when he went through both of those. Here's a nice little trick Zoro's doing. Just a little bit of a slope jump to get just high enough to get on top of this tunnel.
Yeah, because going
finicky.
through the tunnel is a pain in the tail.
It's gonna opt for on space jump. It's kind of risky to know tricks, because sometimes, like, if you're good at them, they'll save you time. If you mess up, they might lose you time, unfortunately.
It all depends on the trick. I definitely agree with you there, though.
I know a way you can get across there with just space jump, and it's something I shouldn't go for because I'm bad at it. I don't know if Zoro intended to go out of bounds there, but he's out now.
Well, while we're here, we might as well do stuff, right?
Okay, so what he's gonna want to do is he's gonna want to jump up to this blue door. I believe he's gonna stand on top of it and trigger the next room to load. And if he's here by accident, he'll probably just stand on top of the other room's ceiling and do a bomb jump, and he'll just warp right back in. Otherwise, this looks okay. The moment of truth. I think he's out here on purpose.
It's so amazing that the developers never intended for this to happen, and yet here we are.
I don't think he should go to lower quarters. He might be trying to go there, but
I mean, there's no real reason to go down there right now. We don't know
yeah,
if
energy
there's anything
controller
down.
makes sense. That's more like
It's very interesting to see.
This is a little confusing because Echoes has a lot of instances where you just stand on the door to load the next room, or well, you jump next to the door and shoot it to load the next room. But sometimes you need to go through the middle of a room somewhere to either unload the previous room or to load the next room. So you'll see them just jumping onto seemingly random spots in the room and then backing out.
It's so interesting to watch, but so confusing at the same time. Because it doesn't even look like the game anymore. The one thing that makes it look like Echoes is the arm cannon sticking out. The rest of it's
Yeah.
like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it looks like Echoes to me. That's how I learned it.
Man, I must have been a very limited-minded kid because I never saw any of this stuff.
Yeah, I was part of a very active speedrunning community as a
Oh,
kid.
that
So
explains it. That explains it.
actually, when I started, when I played this for the first time, Out of Bounds was banned on Speed Demo's archive, the main speedrunning repository.
Interesting.
When I started running it more seriously, then they allowed Out of Bounds, and that was coincidentally right after they found item loss skip for the first time. Yep, there's a missile launcher for AWP. And another Sky Temple
Another
key
Sky
as well.
Temple key, so that's up to 6.
Especially on emulator, it's a little tricky to do out of bounds because I find I have better
Crashes are a
success.
thing.
Well, that, and also I have better success with Aether jumping, where you're on the boundary of the box and you have to get to the you have to ascend. And you just like drop out of the box and jump immediately within 3 frames of leaving it. And the input lag can be a little tricky to get used to, and on top of the inconsistent frame rate. And also on top of that, you need to know when you get back into the Aether, the Aether
Yeah, I'm not
World
even
thing.
sure where Zoro is right now. He looks like he's over by Torvis Plaza.
Zoro is in Forgotten Bridge right now. So, as you can see, out of bounds can get you really far, get you a lot of places really out of logic, or they can really slow you down as well. It's pretty double-edged.
I would say so. And how are we going to see a Boost Guardian? We are going to see a Boost Guardian. One quick power bomb should blow him up, or
It can.
he's going to do something like that though.
I think he's waiting for it to go into a Phazon pool, and he'll roll along next to it,
That makes
so
sense. That's a good way of doing it.
it won't recoil and turn invincible. And then it just needs to stand up so you can shoot it once more and then kill it. And that's a Sky Temple key for him.
Wow, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We haven't even been to see our hints yet. So I mean, geez.
Yep. We might find all the temple keys before go mode.
At this rate, we might.
I'm thinking Zoro's probably gonna find it pretty soon. Unfortunately, AWP has already caught up quite a bit. AWP finds his second Torvis key and immediately finds his third.
How depressing.
I'm expecting Zoro to find super missiles fairly shortly. They've been just about everything else has been just about explored. You might want to stand a little further back there, Zoro. He is getting knocked around quite a bit. What? Dude.
Yeah,
hunter needs to...
that particular Hunter Ing is kind of a jerk.
That should do it. There you go. And light beam ammo. Well. I think he already checked portal site. I'm assuming he already checked it and it's nothing.
I would have to agree with you, but I did not see it, so I don't know.
Jeez. Well, he's gonna fight Chica anyway. I don't know if he has the hint, but he will get a Sky Temple key here. This is a pretty interesting turn of events. Still no super missiles, and I'm not entirely sure what we're missing.
Yeah, at this point, we may not we may not have to get them at all. I mean, are they even required?
Super missiles
Really?
are required, logically, yes.
Are they?
There is a super missile
You're
door.
right. There is a
Like,
super missile door between. You're right, between the portal and the Sky Temple grounds. So yeah,
mhm.
that they're.
Although Zoro might not actually need it. With some out of bounds, it is possible to skip it.
Well, of course it is. Why wouldn't it
Of
be?
course it is, yeah. You could skip supers and seekers. I'm still thinking AWP is gonna find supers before he gets all the keys, though.
I
Before
would hope
Zoro gets all
so.
the keys, rather. Where could they be? I'm not sure. Did AWP miss anything in Sanctuary?
I honestly have no idea.
Supers cannot be in the area before the Sky Temple, the dark area before Sky Temple, because you need supers immediately after the portal. Corvus energy controller is the concern. They did check the Ing Reliquary hint. I believe that's just an expansion. Is there anywhere in Aegon they haven't checked? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
There's Warrior's Walk that is super missile locked on both sides. Yeah, storage C is also super locked. They did check storage A, or mining station A, right? The spider ball track in the sky.
They had to have looked at it. I mean, I can't say that for certainty because we have missed things before,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely do know that if they missed it, that's a pretty big hit.
Yesterday, I thought I saw a missile launcher in mining station B, so I ignored it, and it turned out it was actually supers.
Yeah, because I mean, the super missile item sprite does look very similar to a regular missile.
Yeah, Meditation Vista was actually missile launcher. Oh no, it was a Sky Temple key, wasn't it? It was something.
It was a Sky Temple key.
Right, missile launcher was Torpus Grove. Portal chamber? Were they there? Oh man.
So Zoro just walked right past it, didn't even see it. That's unfortunate.
Hmm.
That's really unfortunate.
It's possible he knows it's there and he's just doing Chica first. AWP definitely wants to refill his ammo for Chica. Takes considerably longer when you're low on ammo.
Yes, indeed it does.
Yeah, he's going to the super missile door. I believe he has them. He most certainly does. Yeah, that's go mode for AWP. He's just gonna be fighting Chica, and he's probably gonna save warp out. Luckily, there's a save station right outside Chica's room. It's one of the instances where out of bounds is nerfed because you could just save warp anyway.
Absolutely. Definitely true.
There's actually a really easy out of bounds to do in Portal Chamber. You just, I think you can make it with just a space jump, but tiny slope that gives you ample height to actually just pass through a wall. It just has no collision.
Sometimes it's amazing the things that we discover over the course of the game's lifetime.
Even more interestingly, there's actually a spider ball track in Portal Chamber. It just is invisible.
Wow. Yeah, that's even more interesting. The things that people discover when they're trying to beat a game as fast as possible, it's just crazy.
You can use it to just boost into the sky for no apparent reason. It's pretty funny.
I mean, why not? Sure, for fun. So where are our last two keys? We know Chica has one. Where's the last one?
Well, it's probably Super Missile Lock. It's probably Warrior's Walk. That's my guess. Ah, yes, Annihilator is very effective on
Oh,
Larva.
yeah. That is definitely one of my favorite things to do to that. I hate this boss so much, that's one of my favorite things to do to it, because I hate it.
I usually don't use it because I don't usually pick up like 200 ammo of each beam. But when you have it, it's really
I'm
fast.
a bad player, so I go more of the 100% speed or 100% not speed run than I do anything. Because I mean, I think the lowest percentage I've ever done is like 54.
There's usually a Sky Temple key in Lower Torvus, but there are sometimes entire areas that just aren't required. I've had seeds that absolutely did not require Sanctuary whatsoever.
Me too, for sure. Actually, one of my recent personal bests, I didn't set a foot in Sanctuary. I beat the last boss with like 5 energy.
It's pretty sweet.
But that's not about me. I'm just saying, that's something that happened to me. Back to these guys. Chica is going down quickly.
I hope that missile hit. Sometimes the lower right wing will deflect missiles for some reason.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't like being targeted. That's why I always shoot 2 at it.
Yeah, it deflected one of them at least. And sometimes, if you come at it from the wrong angle, the lower left one will just miss. There it goes.
I hate Chica. This is the worst boss in the game, Emo.
Okay, so Zoro had supers as well. He did actually get them. That makes sense, because he wanted to fight Chica just in case they had something required. And then he wanted to take Portal Chamber to leave the room. Oh, well, I guess he actually saw Portal Chamber after leaving Dark World. Either way, he has supers. He basically is just on his way to find the final hints.
It does kind of suck to come all the way over here to get 1 or 2 hints.
He's gonna find one of them behind Spider Guardian.
Why you gotta be so mean?
AWP already found that one. That's the one he got in Sanctuary.
Oh, okay. Okay, I gotcha. My bad.
But yes. Oh, he's only found 5 so far. So, Hive entrance, that's right, that was one of them. Hive gyro chamber. Okay, that was another one, that's right. Dynamo.
Well, that's the worst one to get right there.
Yeah. And
he didn't read the last one.
Just
Hydro Dynamo Station. Oh
okay.
my gosh. Ah, that's such an ugly place to go.
Well, actually, it's not so bad. You can. Oh, well, it depends whether or not you know the underwater dash, I guess. Or air underwater. Oh, either of those 2 tricks will get you the item basically immediately when you enter Lower Torvus. Otherwise, you can just use Seekers and open. Sometimes you can open the door with Seekers and go the long way around. Or wait, no. No. That's the item in front of the Seeker door. My bad.
Yeah, that's the one right as soon as you get down there. So, I mean, you can get that with or without gravity. It doesn't.
Wait, did it say storage or chamber?
No, it says it's Hydro Dynamo Station, so it's the actual main building, the main room.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so yeah, he just needs to. Well, if he doesn't know tricks, all he has to do is scan the terminal underneath the item, and that'll extend a bridge so you can take the ball shooter up top and get the item, take the ball shooter again, and just save warp. Not so bad. Although he can also opt to leave through training chamber to get to Sanctuary that way.
That is true.
That's not so bad to do with screw attack. It is kind of bad to open the Seeker door though. So who knows? Unfortunately, Op is save warping away from the final key. Because you gotta check that final hint.
He'll go, yeah, because you don't want to wander. You want to get it. You want to know where it is and go get it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's gonna have to come back is, I mean, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
But for all he knows, it could be an Aegon, and going to Lower Torvus would be a total waste of time. So this is winding up a closer race than it initially appeared. Red Temple Key and Hazencliff, you don't say.
Thanks, game. Thanks for the hint, game. Thank you.
That's the worst when you get a hint for a Red Temple Key and it's just an Hive Key.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the worst. Definitely the worst, because that's one of the keys you're like, I don't need you. I don't need you at all. Thanks, thanks a lot.
Or sometimes it says major upgrade is somewhere, and that's well, actually, no.
Every major
does
upgrade
not
is
include
definitely something
keys.
useful. I don't think I've ever had a major upgrade not be something that I actually
Well, it
needed.
could be grapple beam. Actually, the hints that say major upgrade can be anything except the expansions and the keys, but there are joke hints that tell you a location, and that can have either a major upgrade or a temple key.
I did not know that.
So Zoro, it appears he got air underwater and is okay. Yeah, you just rest your cannon just right in the center, and sometimes you get the item.
And here I thought I knew a lot about this game, and I just come to realize that I knew nothing. I know nothing, Jon Snow.
Let's see, what's he up to now? I think he is trying to go down to training chamber to go to sanctuary. No, you can't get there from this way. You have to go directly there. So conveniently, there's this bridge leading to the terminal that rises up when you scan the post. So unfortunately, you do have to cross this gap or you fall down.
Yeah, but falling down is not insurmountable because there are air bubbles that can push you back up.
Yeah, it just takes ages to move underwater. So now that that is activated, he could just jump onto this extended platform here. And that's generally the start of the lengthy trip to get vanilla gravity boost in vanilla.
Yeah, one of the worst items to try to get. It's such an unfortunate location. It's just so bad to go get. It's just not.
So I think screw attacking to the statue. I think that's in no tricks. It might be in trivial. I forget.
I
I
don't
think it's
know,
no
but it's
tricks, though.
super easy to do. So if it's a no, I would say it's probably a no trick, but it could be. Okay, it is no tricks. Yeah, it's really easy to do.
Because there's aerial training site which you can do. It's you can get to the box, the little blast shield thing, and scan the post from outside, and I believe that's in trivial. So I wasn't sure if it was a screw attack thing or a peeking through collision thing. Is it higher? It's either trivial or easy. on normal mode, you could do it without screw attack. But on lower settings, the screw attack is a thing.
So Op's gonna go down there. He's gonna get that key. Then he's gonna warp to save, warp to start, and he's done. So Op is on the final stride here. He should be done around another 10 minutes or so. I would say by the end of this would be the end of this one.
Ah, yes, he still has to do this pirate fight. This is a very massive room, and thus it can take a lot of lag.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff happening. So
All he has to do is kill one more pirate, and then he could go down to Lower Torvis for that final key. I don't think he has to get the item, but just in case, he might as well.
I mean, better safe than sorry.
I believe
Or
it's just
whatever.
the laser field that needs to be deactivated, which happens during that cutscene revealing the item.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because for some reason, it extends very far down into the lower chamber to get to Lower Torvis.
And we can never figure out why.
Oh, because retro, right? Yeah, that's usually the reason.
Alright, here's
Gravity
Op getting
boost
his
is
final
essential.
key. And there we are. Now it's time to go fight the major pain in the tail that is known as the Emperor. I said Emperor, right? I'm
Yeah.
not losing my mind? Okay. Sometimes, man, today has just been a day.
Yeah, seeds tend to be long.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with my microphone today, guys. I don't know why it's cutting out early. I'm releasing it at the normal time that I do for every other race. I apologize for that. Emperor Ing.
Yeah, it's possible it happens and people just don't say anything because they're used to it.
You're probably true. Probably right. It's true. It's probably true. All right, fine.
It's actually a really common problem on Discord with push to talk. For some reason, it cuts off to the last half second.
I'll make sure to fix that for the next time, Bash, so I don't disappoint you again. I've been trying really hard to let it stay on as long as possible.
And Zoro's not too far behind. He just has to get this jump. There we go. So that jump wasn't necessarily required to get up here, but theoretically it is faster. I never bother with it personally.
I hope that my statements are fully let through now. I'm trying to make. I don't know. Maybe I have been screwing up forever, and I just didn't know.
So it's going to be Hive Gyro Chamber for Zoro, and then just take the portal back, and we'll see if he knows the way to skip Spider Guardian in this case.
That would be swell.
Unfortunately, as powerful as Annihilator Beam is, it does have the issue of homing in on targets instead of what you want to hit.
I would agree with you there. That is for sure.
Especially rooms like Sentinel's Path, where you want to hit the Echo Locks, but it always flies sideways into the quads instead.
Yeah, because the game hates you. And I don't mean you personally. I mean you as us, the runner.
I don't know. It did crash on me yesterday.
I mean, bad things do happen from time to time.
It seemed a little personal.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the big tentacled jerk at the end of the game. Otherwise known as Emperor Ing. He's kind of a jerk. Straight up. No, nothing nice to say.
So Opt is electing to start off with a super missile, since you can charge your beam before it's vulnerable, so you won't have to wait that time. And then it finishes off with the Annihilator Beam, which you could spam to your heart's content.
Almost got the zero cycle. That was well done.
Yeah, geez. Annihilator is really good on these tentacles as well. They take more hits than the Light Beam does, but they actually hit, so that's nice.
More hits, less aiming.
And they should die to one missile, but sometimes they just don't.
Alright, now we're on to Phase 2. Phase 2 is kind of annoying because little inglets spawn all over this thing and they knock you off because they have the power to knock you back like you wouldn't believe.
Gosh, they're annoying. That was a good second power bomb there.
If you manage to do it right, you can
good.
get it in 4 or 3. I think it's 3.
3. Yeah. And so Emperor Ing 3 is a really awkward fight. There is a trick to kill him really quickly, as Op is doing with Screw Attack. And you will see him kind of nudging backwards whenever he passes under his legs. That's actually hitting an invisible hitbox and doing massive damage.
Bam!
I want to say it's
That was
56
very well
damage
done.
per frame.
Oh, dude, I have no idea, but that was a beautiful Emperor Ing 3.
Yeah, that was pretty
It was
fantastic.
like 3 or 4 screw attack jumps and he's dead, so that's beautiful.
36 damage? Okay. Either way, since his per frame is pretty massive, you could deal up to half of its health from one jump. Actually, if it's jumping as well, it's possible to kill it in one jump.
Yeah, I've had that happen before. I think I actually have a clip of it.
Nice.
It jumped in the air and I screw attacked and it died. I was like, what just happened?
So a few years ago, it was also discovered that you could actually skip the last phase of Dark Samus. What you want to do here, you want to do as much damage as you can right off the bat. Op just elects to go straight for the final phase anyway. But what a lot of runners do is they'll shoot 25 annihilator shots to get it really close to the threshold where it's about to change to phase 4. And then they'll let it like jump in the air and do its hyper beam. And when it's coming back down, they'll use screw attack to deal like half its health potentially and just kind of hope it hits. And after that, if you use a missile, it will throw up its shield instead of going to the center and initiating phase 4. And you can basically stun lock it from there and keep doing damage in between missile shots, and it will just constantly be frozen in place. Like every time you hit it, it'll jump away, and then as soon as it lands, it'll throw the shield up again, as long as there's a missile in the arena somewhere. It doesn't even have to be heading towards Dark Samus. Sometimes you could just shoot the opposite direction and it'll still shield. But it is really finicky and also requires some RNG. Sometimes it just immediately goes into phase 4 instead.
I typically go along the route that Op's going on, and I don't know this skip, so I just fight because I don't know it. So you know, I mean, it's not that bad, truthfully, but it is slower.
If you kind of fail the screw attack like I often do, you might just bonk off of Samus. You might bonk off of Dark Samus instead and only do 36 damage, which is pretty measly. It's less than a charge beam.
Also, if you're not absolutely careful with the charged phazon beam, it'll heal her, which is really nice.
That's true.
And this should be the end. This should be the last shot. And GG to AWP, coming in first place in the first match of this race, of this trash heap of a race. Very well done. We'll see if we can get him in chat, which he probably will want to rage out a little bit about some of the stuff that we've seen today.
Yeah, luckily Zoro's not too far behind. He may wrap this up pretty shortly. He's unfortunately thinking Hive Dynamo works includes the Dark World, which it does not.
Man, what a heck of a way to start this tournament.
Oh, he wants to reload the room? Okay, I guess that makes sense. Although, I don't know for sure. I thought the spider track became active. I thought getting the item that Spider Ball dropped, or that Spider Guardian drops, also reloaded the room. But, I don't know, maybe not.
As far as I know, it does. You immediately leave out, and you can just everything works just fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And yeah, he's using the save station anyway, so he didn't need the spider track in the first place. A neat little slope jump just to jump over the spider ball track there. There's actually a morph ball tunnel underneath, and that's how you're normally supposed to go through the room. There's a wall with an arbitrary spider track there that you can just jump over.
Well, you know, it's one of those things. Things that we discover when we try to make the game faster.
Yeah. It reminds me of a room in Prime 1 in Magmore Caverns.
Yeah, the one that has the 4 flame jets sprouting out from the temple or the center pillar. Yeah, just leap over it, sure.
Okay. We're trying to get AWP in for commentary momentarily. So yeah, Zoro just has his Sky Temple keys on his way to the final boss.
Whew, what a race! I hope that all the races aren't like this.
Yeah. Sorting out some technical difficulties and trying to get up in here. Just a moment. Wait a second.
But now Zoro's making his way to the final fight as well with all his keys. We found every single temple key. Just this man, this seed was wrong on so many levels.
Here we go.
Hey,
Hey, welcome up, GG.
thanks.
Congratulations on your race.
Oh my
How
god,
about that light beam, my
Oh
friend?
boy.
that was the most disgusting thing ever. I was so confused until I looked and saw that. Well, first until I got all three keys, and I was like, oh no, a Morbus has to be guarding something. But then I remembered the hint that he had like a missile or expansion or something. So I'm like, oh wait, let me look behind me. Light beam.
Very glowly.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And then like I guess I was kind of wandering around. Like I planned on going to Torbis, but I ended up in Sanctuary because the items that I had just kind of naturally led me there. And I also wanted to check Sank Entrance because that location burns me all the time. So I I had to check that, and then I ended up like full clearing Sanctuary, finding keys and everything. But I was like, supers have to be in Torbis. Like it's probably not much in Torbis, so maybe it's okay if I like last location that, and then supers turned out to be my go mode item. But just the whole seed in general, like I was so confused throughout the first half of it, and I felt like I fumbled a lot of it. So I was like expecting my opponent to dot done like probably like an hour before I even finished. Like this seed is garbage.
It definitely was garbage. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna argue with that.
We were thinking for a while that Zoro might. He was behind most of the race, and we were
Yeah, his
thinking
PC
he
crashed
actually went
twice.
to Torvis right after getting a light beam instead of
Yeah,
Sanctuary, and we were thinking that might be the comeback play. But
yeah.
although
I was kind of
he
mad that I didn't do that at first. Go ahead. Sorry.
he had some accidental hiccups, he wound up out of bounds at some point and had to get back in, and
Uh,
he wound up finding supers at about the same time you did as well.
this is go mode too.
Yeah, and then he already found the Torvis keys, and he was doing Chica when you were entering, I think. And
Oh, I
then
see.
he had to go and find the other the Sanctuary Temple keys.
Uh-huh. Where is he right now?
He's fighting Emperor Ing 3.
Oh, okay.
So it wound up a lot closer than expected.
Yeah, I'm
based
pretty
on that.
sure he would have won if his PC hadn't crashed. So props to him. Like, it's
It would have
pretty.
been real close, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, give me your favorite part of the seed and your least favorite part of the seed.
Finally getting supers for go mode, and then worst part was like all of Aegon, all of the beginning. Like the first hour was garbage, and what was I gonna say? Yeah, and then when I went to check hints, I had to go back to Torvis just for that one key, and I'm like, dang it!
You had walked right past it.
Yeah, I naturally I would have full cleared everything like before making my way down there, full cleared like upper Torvis and everything, but I wanted to like just zero in on the keys so I wouldn't waste time doing that. But it turns out all I had to do was go down a couple of rooms, and then I'd have been
it could have been. There were 2 super locked items in Aegon. It could have been instead. Unfortunately, it was just a couple of rooms away from where you saved war.
Yeah. Yeah. Wish I'd gotten that Spider Guardian skip. Turns
that's
out
a real tough one.
Spider Guardian himself didn't have anything. It looked really easy when I saw someone else do it, but I'm gonna have to practice that.
Yeah, sometimes tricks just look easy when you see someone get it.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch them practicing, not so much.
Always easier said than done.
Exactly. See, he's on Emperor Ing 3 now. I got my phone up, the stream up on my phone.
Yeah, he did. He did pretty good. He did pretty.
Yeah, pretty curious to watch the. Sorry.
Yeah, he didn't. He doesn't know just how low the hitbox is on Emperor Ing's feet. It's basically real close to the ground, and he was
as close to the ground as possible, is what I've heard.
Yeah, it's like so. If you look at the tip, like he's got the spiky tips of his feet. If you like right behind the tips of his feet is where the hitbox is, and I didn't know that for a long time. And one of my viewers showed me a video, and I was like, oh my god! And it's so easy to get now.
Yeah.
Usually I just drop behind his feet.
Mm-hmm. And yes, I know I said just the tip. It wasn't supposed to go out that way. Okay.
Whoops. We were also worried for a while. There was a possibility. We were talking about how it's actually possible that super missiles could be in Torvis energy controller, which normally requires the super missiles to get.
Quad would have been required for that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because we were running out of places to check. Zoro hadn't checked Portal Chamber yet, but he checked basically everything else in Torvis. And you already full cleared Sanctuary.
Yeah, that'd have been pretty gross. Yeah, I'm just watching along with you guys right now.
But other than that, it was a pretty good race. I mean, obviously there was some tragedy in the item placement and whatnot, but it was not terrible.
Yeah. For me, it was pretty terrible. just the
it could have been worse.
Like getting to Bomb Guardian, getting Emerald. I'm like, what? What am I supposed? And then Dark Missile Trooper didn't have it. Like, I'm like, what am I supposed?
Yeah, I know exactly what happened here. You missed a hint on the Amber Translator hint in the Central Mining Station. The very first room in Aegon was the power bombs are in. Where the heck were they? Oh, in the command center.
Okay.
Yeah. And coincidentally, you were actually fighting Bomb Guardian at the same time as Zoro, and you both got Emerald Translator, and you turned around and jumped over the gate, and Zoro didn't know how to do that, so he just reset.
Yeah.
It's real unfortunate.
Back to the beginning because he hadn't saved except, or he back,
Great Temple.
back to prior to the Dark Alpha split.
Oh, I see.
So that was a pretty rough hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a hard time reading the logic for this one. It was it's pretty convoluted.
It wasn't exactly that easy of a scene.
Right.
It was pretty gross in comparison to some scenes that we could have had. But hopefully this is not setting a precedent for the rest of the tournament.
Hopefully not. I mean, not for the runners it'll be bad, but for the viewers I'm sure it's pretty good.
It was a good introduction to the tournament, and Zoro has finished.
Yeah. GG.
Excellent. And then he is here.
Hey.
Welcome,
Hey,
Zoro.
what's up?
Hello.
How did you like that seed?
Oh my god. The start was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very much
Yeah.
was.
Man, I did a mistake at the beginning. I just looked at Bomb Guardian.
Mm-hmm. Actually, AWP did that as well. He did Bomb Guardian without bombs. Luckily,
no.
he actually knows you can jump over the gate
Oh.
with the slope
Oh.
jump.
Yeah.
Oh. Nice.
With space jump, yeah.
Oh, I should learn that, I guess.
Yeah, it's a tiny slope, but it's plenty height to get over.
Yeah. And I felt behind after my crash at like 1 hour and something. So I did Dark Samus 2.
Yeah. How did you recover from the crash? Like, did you save scene before it happened?
I don't know, but it's my computer now because I play on my Wii.
Oh.
Okay.
So I was fine.
Oh, that's not so bad then.
Gameplay wise.
That's good.
Oh.
Yeah, it just reopening my computer and finishing my stream again. Like
Yeah, we saw you jump ahead quite a bit, so I figured you were probably playing on console or off stream somehow. But either way,
Yeah.
you beat the game, so GG on that.
Yeah, GG.
I did have a question on what's the room called? Oh gosh, I'm blanking.
Don't look at me. I don't know.
Describe the room.
I did a
that
secret
U-shaped
world by
room?
mistake.
Next to Forgotten Bridge.
Yeah.
Next to Forgotten Bridge. Oh,
Abandoned
the
worksite?
yeah,
Yeah,
abandoned
abandoned
worksite.
worksite. That's right.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Okay. We weren't sure if you were making a gamble up to Torvus Temple.
Wait, what
or
was
if
that
it was
again?
just you. He
It was one of the-
screw attacked across, and he just landed inside the Morphwall tunnel and dropped out of bounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I was like, at this point, let's show off, but like, with everything that happened to me, like I'm just under 15 minutes difference, so it's
To
good.
his credit, you recovered, so that was pretty good.
Yep. Like I skipped the gravity boost for the only Sky Temple key on underwater.
You want to know where that gravity boost was? AWP got it.
Yeah,
I forgot where it was.
That was in Sanctuary entrance.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
the room I dislike the most.
Yeah, the room that burns me all the time, and I'm so glad I checked it. Like I didn't care how dumb of a play it might have looked like. I had to get it out of my. I had to get peace of mind. I had to know what was there, even if I
Yeah,
should have been
major.
in Torrens. Yeah.
Yeah, I did underwater air underwater glitch.
Mm-hmm.
to skip it. So yep.
It wasn't logically required either, because the way you got out was also logically possible. Just to go underwater, scan that terminal, and then take the cannonball back up.
Yep.
Where did you do it?
In the entrance to Lower Torvis, Hydrodynamo Station.
Okay.
He used arrow underwater to get the item, but then he had to, he shot the secret door open, and it looked like
But
they were having trouble getting through.
Well, yeah, because I think there is an invisible wall as long as the thing is not activated. So
That's weird. Okay.
I think that's why they go out of bounds, and it's the reason why they go out of bounds in Hydrodynamo Station for like 6%, but
Okay.
there is weird collision when you don't trigger some of the thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird collision in Echoes.
Speaking of which, did you see when I bonked off of that little rock on the ground when I was screw attacking?
Yeah, I saw you shoot it.
What the heck
was that? Why?
What I like the most about this seed is like, oh, light suit, I get it, and then straight afterwards, spider ball. I was like, what?
That was pretty nice. Unfortunately, AWP saw light suit before getting light beam.
Yeah, I did too. Actually.
Yeah, you were both pretty lost at the start.
Oh my god.
So were us commentators, because we had no idea where the temple keys were either. Until the last one showed up in the last possible location.
Yeah, I skipped it. I was like, oh, I had an in for Amorbis, so I was like, oh, I don't need the Eigen key in, I think it's Mining Station B, so I just skip it, and when I realized it was required, I was like, oh, let's go out of bounds, and roll crawl to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a pretty good showing as well.
Mining Station B is vanilla dark burst, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
He got out in the save station at the start of Aegon and just screw attacked into the tunnel, and then climbed around Central Mining Station.
Yeah, I didn't want to do the puzzle, so I just was like,
I thought you were gonna go for storage A in that little alcove behind the powerbomb wall, because the other side of the door is a regular blue door.
No, at that point I knew like it was either supers or light beam behind Amorbis.
Yeah.
So I was like, screw it. But yeah, that light beam, man, that light beam.
Worst.
Yeah, that light beam was awful. The thing is that you guys you went past that room so many times and didn't bother to look up and see what was up there, because you guys got the hint for Morbus having a missile expansion, and you just kept walking past it and walking past it and walking past it. I'm like, I bet it's up there, because we got Echo, we got Screw Attack, we got all this stuff. And it's like, I bet it's up there.
You can blame Diggle for that. He was calling it.
It's usually one of the first things I look at, but I was so confused and in a frenzy, I just couldn't think straight. So I was like, it was my final choice, and then I finally looked. I'm like, oh.
Like the only time there is something great in there, it's in a race, of course.
Right. Right.
Oh my god.
It could have been worse. Could have been worse.
And I just jumped. I gambled Chaika too. I was like, oh, maybe Supers is on Chaika, and a Sky Temple key.
At least it was required.
Yeah, I got a hint for that before I made it back to Taurus, so
yeah,
I anticipate that.
Yeah, Supers were in Portal Chamber. I was like, oh, nice. And I knew I was in go mode then, but the only bad key remaining was Dynamo Works. Either you do the stupid instant morph in the tunnel, or you beat Spider Guardian.
Yeah, I tried to screw attack into there, but I couldn't, so I just spotted him.
No, I think there is just the instant morph in there, and I think it's an art trick to do. So
Oh, it's on hard logic.
it's yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I get it like this. Sometimes it takes me like hours. It's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
You know what? Speaking of Diggle Wraith, I believe he has a match starting pretty soon against
was a spy-
Diceron.
I was at Spider Guardian when you finished.
Oh, okay.
So I got my last key and I just went straight to the.
Yeah, GG.
Do you guys have any final thoughts that you'd like to share with your audience?
Who generate this seed? Who generate this
Blame
seed?
Bash.
Yeah.
That would be Bash.
Alright.
Bash Prime did that.
Alright. Alright.
Blame Bash.
Yeah. Insert bashing Bash Prime here.
He says he's not sorry, so
He's a great guy, so it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. Gave me chances to get back into the race, so
Yeah.
I won't blame him.
I hope the viewers enjoyed it because that was disgusting.
it's a viewer seed.
Yeah, viewers
Great.
all the way.
That's the tournament in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Stay
that's
tuned
definitely
for
the
more of
tournament.
that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think with that, we're gonna wrap up. As Jagger said, there is going to be another race starting soon.
Yeah,
I think Diggle Wrath versus Diceron,
I hope they get a
Yep.
better seed.
and I hope they get a better seed
Yeah.
too. But I think that's going to be a really good race to watch.
Yeah,
So
good luck to them.
that'll be happening somewhere soon. I don't remember what channel it's on, so I
Alright,
It's
can
on
tell.
this one right here.
It should be this one, yeah.
Diceman is a pretty good player, so yeah. I'm looking forward
I've heard
for
that.
it. Yeah.
He says he's terrible though, so I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's probably his mindset. I mean, it's rando. Either you get randoed or
Yeah.
you make it. I don't know. I was like, oh my! When I got the equalizer, I was like, oh, prof and path and I got an in that said, oh, there is a red temple key there. I was like, it must be an again one. Anyway.
Sure was.
And when I got the in, I was back in again, and I was like, I just came back from there. Come on. Well.
It's definitely a great way to start the tournament, though. I'd be like, hey, this is the kind of crap we're going to be dealing with for the next couple of months. Welcome and enjoy.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, follow the runners for their future shenanigans, and
Yeah.
big thanks for Bellator for tracking this race. That
Yeah,
helped,
thanks, Colin.
that always helps a ton.
Thank you to everyone.
And thank you too for commentating. Thank you for also tracking Semper.
I didn't do very much tracking.
And to
I was
viewers like you.
signed up for it, but I didn't do very much. So I think I clicked the tracker twice, and that was to add a key to both of you.
Every little bit helps. And thanks to the viewers for watching.
All right, guys. As we said, the next race will be starting here shortly. I don't know exactly what time, but it'll be soon. So stick around for another randomizer of echoes, and I hope to see you guys around for the next.
Yep. See you next time.
See you.
See ya. See ya.